other people perceive you as?
Because
Again, like what is your
it,
why does that matter? Why are
it
we
changes the
putting
kid's
these
environment.
standards?
It changes the
Why
kid's environment, and the kid is raised by their environment. It harms
why
the
are
kid, I believe.
so society, because society is awful, because society sets
Yeah,
the
I don't
standard.
make society awful. It just is. You can't just pretend
That's
like we
what
live
we're
in
trying to
lollipop land
change,
where
Phil.
every.
That is what we're
Yeah.
trying to talk about, Phil. That's
Yeah,
the
I get it. Of
purpose
course,
of these
that's the topic. I
conversations.
get it, but we're not there yet, is what I'm saying. Maybe in X amount of
So
years
keep
when
hiding. So keep hiding. That's what you're telling
it's
is
not hiding.
LGBTQ.
It's not
Phil,
hiding. It's being tactful. That's what I'm
Phil.
saying. You have to.
So do
This
you,
is new grounds for people these days. This
Phil,
topic is new. It's not. This isn't something we've been like racism. We've been dealing with for a million years. This is seemingly a new
million
thing to
years.
like.
We're literally talking about a boy wanting to wear a dress. It's
I
not.
know
Do
what
you
we're
think
talking about.
do you
Thank
think
you.
that humans are a million years
You're
old?
welcome.
Come, you're gonna take that literally. Don't pick and choose your arguments. That's not one
Well,
of
it's
them.
just that's such a silly thing to say because
No,
trans people, LGBTQ people have existed since the beginning of humans.
right.
Like
But has
these,
it
so
been this to light since the beginning of time? Has it been this
no,
popular and
because
talked about?
no, Phil,
That's what
no,
I'm talking.
Phil,
That's what I'm
it
saying.
hasn't. But why? Why hasn't it?
Still haven't talked about that.
Why hasn't it? I don't know. I don't know why.
Because
I would assume
society,
because it has something to do with exposure, that the internet,
because
TikTok, social
I'll explain it,
media.
Oh
Phil.
my gosh,
Because
Phil.
society forces
What is
people
this?
not
I'm sorry.
because with
This girl
your
Mel,
God
all
damn
she
it,
does is whisper shit talking, but has not said anything that
Phil.
isn't disrespectful since I got here.
Okay, I don't care.
You're literally disrespecting a whole bunch of
I am
people.
not disrespecting
Luckily
anyone.
for
I've a
you,
couple
Reggie has
different
some
times
patience right
paused
now.
to say I want to make sure this is all love. It is. We're literally having a
This
debate on
isn't love.
TikTok.
So
We're not enemies.
what
don't
I
even
wanted
know
to
you
say,
guys.
Phil, right, is what you're doing though, instead of letting a child go to school and, possibly get bullied by a student, you're asking the parents to do that to the child instead.
Look,
Right?
I am
You're
not.
asking the parents to tell the child that they can't wear that because that's wrong.
I've said this a couple times before, and I'm sorry if it came off this way. It wasn't my intent. I am not telling anybody how to raise their own children. You asked me about my
Okay,
opinion and what I would do, and I
no, we
You would
know,
personally.
we
harm your
know, we
child.
know. Stop.
Okay, well,
Okay,
you guys are acting like
stop.
I'm this
I'm gonna
demon
mute
telling you guys
everybody.
how to raise
Stop
your
fucking
kids.
talking, Phil.
Why
Stop.
are you getting
Stop.
angry? It's not.
Because you're
It's
not
not that
letting
kind of
me speak. Because this
conversation.
is my live and you're not letting me speak. So
I
stop it.
am. You just don't
Stop.
like that I'm not agreeing with you is the
Phil,
problem.
stop. I'm gonna mute you. I am literally trying to have a conversation. I am trying to stop from this whole mess that is going on. Right? So I am trying to have a conversation. We're way off topic, first of all. Surprise, surprise, this topic got onto trans people. I cannot believe it. But what is happening, Phil, is the reason why LGBTQ people have been not exposed is because of the harm that society puts on them, because of the gendered norms that we force onto people, because
Mhm.
people thinking that a boy wearing a dress should be a problem or should not happen.
Mhm.
That's why people from the LGBTQ have been silenced, and that is why we're done with it. We're done with it, and we need to teach like a dress is not going to harm people. So you need to unpack that. And we're not having a debate about trans people. Well, trans people exist and they're having their rights being threatened. And that's the
Look,
point of
it's.
trans people being loud, and they should be.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't hate the movement. I love when people feel like they're being treated like shit and they speak up for themselves. I'm on board with every group of people
You
that
love
feels.
that? What the fuck?
What do you mean? Who do you think I am? What have I said to you in this conversation that makes you
What
think
you
I'm
just
this?
said, Phil.
You just said you love that when people are being mistreated and they speak up. Like, do you think that's what?
What was wrong with that sentence that I just said? Isn't that how you feel too?
I don't love the fact that people are being mistreated. I think we should start there.
You
I
think that's what I
that's the
said?
thing that
You think I just said I love that people are being mistreated?
Well, that is what you said. Whether
Did
or
you hear the
not you
whole
meant it that
sentence?
way, that's what you
I said
said.
I love when people are being mistreated and stick up for themselves. That's
yeah, but
obviously the
we
important
shouldn't.
part of
See,
that
that's the
sentence.
thing is I don't love that. I don't love that we should have to stick up for ourselves.
I don't
I don't
love
love
that you
that.
have to stick up for yourself. Okay, Jesus. I love when people stick up for themselves. Is that a better way to say that?
Yes.
sort of, but I still don't understand. Like, I would rather address why people have to stick up for themselves instead of
Because not you,
what you're
not
about to
everybody.
say.
We don't live in a utopia. No one is ever going to agree with everyone else. People argue.
Because a lot of people
disagree.
are refusing to understand what being
It's not
transgender
the
truly
problem.
is,
Isn't
Bill.
look the problem in most of the time in most cases like this. It's not that people disagree. It's that they don't know how to communicate their disagreements. Everyone's threatened by an opinion that's different than yours. In this
They shouldn't be
conversation,
disagreeing
in this conversation,
with
that's not
someone's
you to say that.
existence, Phil.
That's
Yeah.
not you to say.
So
You
Phil,
have
so
just
what
as
is
much a
it?
right
What
to
is it that
disagree
we
with
are
me
advocating?
as I do to you. But the
All right.
problem
So,
is
okay,
when
Phil,
you're
stop
please,
complaining. Please
can
stop
you
crying.
please
Just
can
stop
you
it.
please let me
Stop it.
finish? Can you please
No,
let me
because we're
finish?
not talking
You're
about this
making this
anymore.
about you, Phil.
Right.
No, I'm
We're not
not.
talking
What are
about
you
that. So,
talking about?
Phil, so what do you think? What's our stance? Like, what do you think that we're advocating for? Like, you think that there's some kind of disagreement. What's the disagreement?
Well, the disagreement isn't really the point here because what I'm saying
It
is the way
literally is
we're
the point.
It
the
is the
way
point. That's
the way
I'm making it.
the
I
way
am making it
our
about. I am making it about that because
okay.
that's what we're talking about. So, what do you think? Like, why?
I think I just lost you.
We probably got a call. So it is about that.
What I'm saying is it's
Yeah.
not.
So, what is it that you think we're sticking up for here, as far as like for trans people, for LGBTQ?
What do I think you're sticking up for?
Yeah. What do you disagree with us?
Which question are you asking me, honestly? Because I want to make sure I'm answering
What
what you're
is it
asking.
that you disagree with us? Like you were saying, there's a disagreement here. What is it that you disagree with us? What is it that you think we're trying to do that you disagree with?
What I was just saying isn't the focus wasn't the disagreement. The focus was on communicating the disagreements, which
I
is the
get it.
problem
I get that,
everywhere.
Phil. I get
Like
it. But
for example, you are telling me that you don't agree with me, and I'm not yelling and swearing at you and muting you. You just
I
feel
didn't say
differently than
that.
I do, and
I didn't say that. I'm trying
you
to
didn't
make
say it. You
progress.
did it.
Phil, for fuck's sake. I'm
See what I'm
trying to
talking
make
about? You're getting
I am
upset, and I
trying to
don't know
make
why.
progress. I am trying to make progress
You're
in
not
this
trying to make progress.
conversation.
You're trying to win
So
a fight, and this isn't a fight.
oh God. So I am trying to move the
Literally
conversation forward.
is.
So I'm asking you, what is it that you think you disagree with us? You're the one that made that statement that you disagree with us. I don't really know what disagreements we have. Like, I understand that you don't understand trans people and you don't understand what they're having problems, like what
Of
they're
course I
going through
do.
right now. I understand that. So
Of
what
course
I'm
I
trying to
understand where
understand
they're
is what
going.
the disagreement on you, on your behalf, comes from.
Yeah, my biggest disagreement, I think, at least from this conversation, has been our stance on letting kids make big decisions, if I'm to generalize.
See, and that like is where I'm trying to like I want you to unpack why you think a big decision is a boy wearing a dress.
Because I
So
think as a kid, you're very, very impressionable. And what happens to you as a kid dictates everything that happens to you for the rest of your life, your relationships, your job
Right?
life, your friends, all that stuff. So
even
as,
if it makes them happy, even if it like again, we're
it
going
make
around in
what
fucking
makes you
circles here.
happy as
I
a
know.
fifth grader does not matter in real life. Again, I thought Santa
What?
Claus bought me
Yeah, their
presents when I
mental
was in
health
fifth grade.
absolutely
Wait.
matters.
Yeah, what is that? That's a wild thing to say. You don't think
Listen,
that
a fifth
You just kind
grader,
of ignore kids until they're adults. Is that
a
your
fifth grader
stance?
wants to play in traffic because cars are cool. If that
Fifth
makes them
graders
happy in
don't
that
want to play in
moment, do you let them
traffic
do it?
typically.
Of
Come
course
on.
not.
that's being extremely
Of course,
disingenuous when you say
I'm
something like
being
that. Like you
dramatic to
think
make a point because
Phil,
you're not letting me make it.
because I heard your point. Like
No,
that's
you
two
didn't. You
entirely
heard
different
half of it
things.
and then started to sigh.
Phil, shut the fuck up, Phil,
See what that's
please.
what I'm talking about.
You
Phil,
refuse to like listen, like understand what a fifth grader's mentality is.
right. And
I
like
don't
saying that they
agree with
want to
that
play in
either.
traffic, saying that they want to play in traffic is very disingenuous. Like relating something that like puts them, letting them wear something that makes them happy, mentally happy, makes them want to attend school, makes them want to participate in society, makes them want to get up in the morning versus them wanting to go play in traffic because cars are cool. Those are two different fucking things. And god damn it, the audio, of course.
I can hear you still.
So
You have a reverb.
Yeah, you're good.
so
Oh, it's you, Phil.
So that's what
It's
you
your
see how
audio.
it's like it's just wildly disingenuous to compare those two things. Like we're talking about something that makes a child happy, makes the child physically happy. That's what we're talking about. And you're dismissing that. Like, we're not forcing kids to wear what they don't want to wear. We're not putting them our boys in dresses when they don't want to wear a dress.
Okay,
That's
so
not what we're advocating for.
All right. So the biggest disconnect here, I think, like what I think we're disagreeing about the most is I think that as a parent, which I'm not, just in my opinion, if you have a fifth grader, you have to draw the line based on the decisions that they make, even if you think it makes a fifth grade happy, if it's what's best for them, which you and I clearly have differences in what we think is best for a fifth grader.
Yeah, but you can't tell us why
evidence.
You're
yes, I can.
misogynistic.
I've told you a few different times. You just don't like my answer. That's why you keep saying I'm not answering it.
Because you're uncomfortable is not an answer. Because you
I'm
don't like boys
We're
wearing
trying to get you to understand why.
Right.
Like,
No,
you can't answer the why.
I don't need to understand why. If I could pretend.
Can you imagine just not wanting to understand why you think something?
I could pretend to agree with you guys and argue your point for you. I just don't.
Phil, you just said, I don't need to understand why. Like, somebody that comes in a conversation says, I don't need to understand why is not worth having a conversation.
Because I understand.
We do not care.
This is why it's so difficult to talk to these people. They don't want to understand why they think the way they do. That's what Reggie kept saying. Like, you need to unpack that. Like, literally, that means you need to understand why. You need to understand your biases. You need to understand why you think it's harmful for boys to wear dresses. Holy shit.
I don't need to understand why. Hello,
So,
Kendra.
hi. By today's standards, when I was in fifth grade, I was one of the girls that I didn't want to wear girl clothes. Yes.
Okay. We're going to start a new conversation with every guest. I'm going to put this disclaimer out. If people come up here and say anything else besides why we do need them, or any other reason besides why we don't need them, I'm gonna move on to the next. Does that make sense? That didn't make sense. Okay, bye.
Address the topic.
Right. So address the topic. If you, how do I put this? I had it like in my head of how I want to
I know how that
explain
is.
it. But TikTok doesn't like us telling why we don't need them. TikTok doesn't like that. So if you're going to come up here and say something like, no, we don't need them, and then give an explanation, TikTok does not like that. So if you're going to come up here to do that, please don't. They don't like that. So if you have reasons, they want to hear reasons why we need them. They need to be convinced too. So if you have those reasons, then, come up and tell us. But if you're coming up here to tell us why,
hey, can you hear me?
Yeah,
audio good?
Is pro.
What's up?
Them.
Hi, I'm Reggie. What can I call you?
Chan.
Chan. What's up,
Cool.
Chan?
What's up?
Why do women need cis het men?
To have babies and keep the population alive.
So, do you, to keep, you think that, wait.
Which direction do you want to go with this?
I'm just trying to make sure. How old are you, Chan?
I'm 20.
Oh,
I'm sorry, this is a 21 plus live.
God, that's always it's typically the first point, and it's like the worst one to try to talk about. I hate that one.
Babies.
Oh, okay.
What? That's a wild thing to say. Who is recommending that? 13, 18?
Jesus.
That's what you get out of this conversation?
Absolutely not. And it's funny how you really made it specific with asking why do women, and still we're getting the same exact
Hello?
Hello? Mick, is it?
Yeah.
What's up, Mick? How old are you, friend?
I'm 21.
What year were you born?
I was born 2003. January 2003.
Awesome. What's up? Why do women need cis het men?
I mean, do you feel like you need a cis het man? I assume you don't. That's what, I mean, I go and I have, a cis hetero woman as my significant other.
okay.
And I mean, some people feel like they don't need certain people. I mean, that's fine. But I mean,
It's not the question, Mick. Why
Yeah,
do
why?
women need cishet men?
Yeah,
Do you
why
feel
do
that they
some?
need them?
Right.
Why?
You said that some people need them.
Some women need them. I mean, not all women need them,
For
obviously,
what
but
though? Like,
some
what do
do.
you think that women need men? Women need cishet men for?
I mean, I like to think that, some of them may want just a partner. Some may just want a partner to
So now
love. I
you're saying
mean,
want. Now you're saying want though. So I agree. Some people want to have. They have a preference. Yeah, and they want to be.
Open pickle jars.
now, of course, there's, men and women. They can both be money makers, but some women may want a guy who makes a lot of money. Obviously, best stereotypical.
Okay.
But also, some, women are the money makers. Some may just want a simple companion. Some maybe want to have a relationship.
Again, you're saying want.
Yeah.
We
Again,
understand
we
that.
agree. We agree, Mick. Like some people prefer. They have preferences and they want a partner. That's valid. Like wants are totally valid. But I'm talking about like a necessity. To like do women need as a necessity a cishet man in their lives for any reason?
I
That's what
mean,
I'm asking.
some women maybe they can't fully protect themselves and they need someone to protect them. Maybe someone needs to be protected. Some
And
people
that
may not be able to protect themselves. Some people may not be able to secure certain things.
I can agree that people aren't always able to protect themselves. And in that, I would argue that we should, as a society, better teach people, especially women who feel like they can't protect themselves. I think we should do better for them. But however, why does that do you think that necessitates a cis hetero man to be that protector?
I mean, trust me, there's some men out there cis hetero men who can't protect themselves as well. There's also, but listen, it
Right.
goes back
I
and
get
forth.
that.
There's
I
two
get it,
different,
Mick. So
two
I
different
get it.
sides to
I
this.
understand. Again, I understand that. But why does it have to be a cis het man like that? Like you're saying, why should somebody need a cis het man? Like people are capable of learning how to protect themselves without a cis het man. Do you not agree?
Say it again. I'm sorry, you cut out for me on my end.
So some people, I agree. Some people, there's a wild coyote walking right in front of me. Sorry.
Oh, wow.
Sorry. I got super distracted about the
That
wild
is a
coyote
little
just
distracting
floating
for
around.
sure. Because
So why does it why a person that can't protect themselves, like why does that necessitate them having a cis het man as that protector?
Maybe some people that's all they can get. Maybe some people don't understand the concept of other relationships as well. Someone may not understand or not just have an attraction or preference.
Maybe Mick just agrees.
I know
I mean,
I think
listen,
like you get
if a woman doesn't want a man, that's fine by me. Like I don't really care.
We're not saying want, Mick.
Or
We're not
need.
saying want.
I mean, I don't really. To be honest, I have my significant other and we're pretty happy. But I mean,
Okay, cool. Does she need you for anything?
we do help each other out for sure.
Does she need you or want you?
She tells me she needs me. She does tell me she needs me.
well, but do you understand like
What's up?
I'm trying to understand like
She's lying. Somebody said in the comments. Sorry, that was
like
funny.
what okay, so if something were to happen, like you don't think that your partner would be able to carry on if something were to happen to you? Is that how you think of your partner?
I mean, well, if something bad happened to me, yeah, I don't think she would. She told me if something bad happened to me, she would not be all right at all, and it would take probably a super long time or maybe never for her to be able to move on. Because we've been together for quite a while.
Okay, but is she or is she not a perfectly, I assume she's an adult and she should be able to take care of herself without a person in her life. Like, right? Like, do you not agree with that?
I mean, listen, we've been together since, before high school.
Okay, that
know?
means nothing though. Like this person still should be capable of living on her life if she did not have you. Like
Yeah.
that should be the standard. Like we should be able to individually function as adults. Like being with somebody till the end of time is not a requirement of living a healthy, fulfilled life.
Right. I've been with my husband for 20 years, but if something happened to him, it would suck, sure. But I would be okay by myself.
Like, and to put the notion that people cannot survive without a partner or without some kind of, I don't want to believe that society is that way. I don't want to tell my children that unless they have somebody, that they need somebody to be dependent on. I don't want to teach my children that.
Tell your husband that, he knows that.
I mean, other than that, I mean, like, we just have a good thing going in life,
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Mick.
What?
Oh, so innocent.
Somebody said, yeah, stop them from finding love. How selfish. Is that what I fucking said, Kat?
Oh my gosh.
What? That's wild.
That person in the comments. That was crazy. How are y'all?
Hi, Michaela. How are you, friend?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Wow, I love everybody coming after me now. It's so funny.
Hello, Andrew.
Hey, one sec, cause my aunt is in the next room. I'm gonna just ask to like talk and be loud, okay? Just one sec.
What?
Okay.
My aunt's in the next room. I'm gonna just tell her that I'm gonna be like on the live, making noise.
Gotcha.
I don't know what he said. We're just gonna.
He's gonna ask his aunt if he can be loud.
Okay.
Because he's in a live.
All right. What's up, Juice Man? What's up?
What's going on? How y'all doing?
We're doing okay. What is your take? Why do women need cishet men?
Well, I'm sitting at work and I just joined. Is this a why do women need men in general, or is this a strictly single relationship stuff?
It's very specific. It's just asking why would a woman need a cishet man?
I guess I joined for no reason because there is no reason. I mean, women shouldn't need a man.
Thank you. I appreciate you being honest, and thank you for coming up.
Yep, you're welcome.
Sweet. Who's gonna clean my toilet?
Okay, Andrew got permission. What's up, Andrew?
What's up, guys? Wait, are you Reggie?
I am Reggie.
Okay, Reggie and Mel. Cool. So.
And Michaela.
And Michaela.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So cishet women need cishet men because.
No, I'm not talking about cishet women. I'm just talking about women in general, but specifically cishet men.
Okay, so whatever the question is, the women need cishet men because they don't need to be codependent, but they need to be interdependent so that they can, be like super effective at doing whatever they want to do in their lives.
And only opposite gender couples can have that?
You could be gay, like if you choose to.
No, you don't choose to be gay.
Yeah, and also, what about platonic relationships? Couldn't you do that with a friend?
I do that with my friend. Like this one friend, I serve with him, and he asked me to push the button for the shower to get the surfboard.
Andrew, stay on topic, friend. So do you understand, Michaela? So the other relationships exist that don't have to be romantic relationships with opposite genders. People can still form, what did you use? Was the term interdependent relationships without romantic relationships and with opposite genders?
I got another point.
Great.
I agree. I take the L on this point. The other point is there has to be one cishet man that holds the key to the necessities of life. Basically, you're gonna have to come across some random dude who is gonna have what you need.
Huh?
I'm saying
they have a key to all of the personal needs that I have?
No, there's gonna be one dude and he's gonna be like a gardener, and you're not gonna be able to go get the gay gardener. Or there's gonna be one dude.
You can't be for real.
Okay.
Thank you, Andrew. Have a great day, Andrew.
Did we even ask his age?
No, I did not ask it.
Did you the
My
first
fault.
time? You may have the first time. I'm not sure. Either way, I don't know what that was.
Hello, Duds.
Hey guys,
Hey, how old are you?
I'm
20?
29.
Oh, okay, cool. What's up, Duds? Why do women need cishet men?
Nobody needs nobody in their lives to be happy. In
Valid.
my opinion,
Totally agree.
I said it in chat. I think it's very clickbaitish live.
Oh, jeez.
I understand that. I just had some time to kill and I wanted people to come in, and yeah, I understand that it can be clickbaity.
I have trans and gay people in my life, but I think
Wait, what?
This has nothing to do with trans and gay people.
Yeah, we're not talking about trans and gay people.
not referring to their sexuality.
We're talking about cishet men. We're not talking about
Right. So why does a man's gender and or sexuality?
Oh,
because
good question.
that's who I'm talking to. That's who the specific men that I'm talking about is people. There's a lot of people that assume that we need cishet men in our lives, and I'm trying to understand why people think that we need them.
You don't need anybody. You're in charge of your own happiness in the end.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
Years now.
Cool.
It's up to either one of us to.
Okay, your signal sucks, so I think we also agree. But thanks for coming on. Why do you need to know? Like, I'm literally just having a conversation, Kat. Like, you don't have to be in here.
Also, and those of you that don't like me, which is like half the chat, you guys can also leave. Like, I don't know why you're here if you don't like me. It doesn't make sense because I'm here, literally.
Hi.
Hi, Michaela. How old are you?
I'm 25.
What's up, friend? Why do women need cishet men?
Okay, so the same men that are coming in here saying that we need them are the same men that don't understand why we chose the bear. First of all, that's all I got to say for that. Second of all, I feel like we don't need men. Like I don't.
Awesome. Thank you, Michaela.
I don't know why.
You coming in, friend. So I am going to limit that talk because, like I said, I'm going to say it again. TikTok does not like people telling us why we don't need them. So we're not going to allow that because it puts your account at risk and also mine at risk. So if you have reasons why you don't need them, they're probably valid, but let's keep them not on TikTok Live. You couldn't handle the bear.
What's up?
What's up, John? How old are you?
21. May 28th, 2002.
Cool. What's up?
So,
why do women need cishet men?
Well, we make up 70% of the labor force.
Here we go.
Okay. Why is that?
Because we do.
Right. Why is that, though? Do you think that there's some kind of historical context there as to why labor force is predominantly men?
I would say because we just naturally are made for that kind of work.
You're naturally made for that kind of work? Somebody made you?
Yeah, evolution.
So you don't think people go to school and read books and learn how to do these trades? You think they just have their magical manpower who can build a skyscraper?
I mean, that's how I got into it. I just kind of got into it.
You never learned math or anything at all? The tools you need to use, nothing?
I don't use math. I just throw around weight. That's what labor is. I'm talking about manual labor.
Is your magical manpower?
Right. I want to correct something.
Labor.
John, I'd like to correct something. According to the Department of Labor, men make up 53% of the workforce, not 70.
Not the workforce, manual labor workforce. 70% are men.
Okay. We'll check that stat. But
okay,
also, so you don't think that, so that's not 100%, right?
Right.
By the way. So it's not just cishet men that could be doing that.
But without that 70%, the automotive industry would fail within the year.
So the automotive industry, you don't think they're learning how to do this, how to work on cars and things like that? You don't think they're learning?
It's not
paid to do
learning.
that?
It's throwing around boxes that have car parts in them. It's putting
Okay, but
boxes
somebody has
on
to
shelves.
put those car parts in a car, right?
Right,
So you
that's
don't think
not
they're
the manual
educated
labor
doing
part
that?
of it. That is the fabrication part. That is what takes college. I'm talking about the manual labor of putting those parts like on shelves and stuff. Just the lower level stuff.
So all y'all do is couldn't we get a robot to do that, just to put things on shelves?
No, because that takes way more money, and then the industry would also fail.
But what if why would it fail, right? Because
robots are literally doing that
having
now.
human beings is more expensive than a robot, right? And if they can make
Right.
robots cheap enough, they could
Right.
do
So like the automotive factory I work in,
Automation
we
is also on the rise. It's physical manual labor is becoming less and less a necessity. Also, is the automotive industry going to keep us is a necessity in this world?
yes, it's a necessity. If you don't have cars, how are you going to get to work?
I mean, you don't think you said you believe in evolution. Automotive industry is not part of evolution. It's a product of our evolution and our knowledge. But you don't think we would evolve into using different types of transportation and different and better
But
ways of getting around.
Right now, how are you going to get to work?
It literally doesn't matter.
Okay,
it's
well,
not the point. The point is no matter what happens with the automotive industry or whatever you think that cishet men have to be working, we evolve and we learn to do different things. We evolve, we adapt.
But the fact of the matter is, right now, you aren't doing that. So without us, it would fail.
Right. So it comes back to, again, why aren't more women accepted in these places, and why aren't we in more of these positions?
Well, I mean, I would say it's because of the body type.
You have proof of that it's because of our body types that we are not in these positions? What do you mean? You said, you came out of your mouth, it's not 100% of these jobs are filled. So obviously some people that are not cishet men are doing these jobs.
Right.
Right. So just more people that are not cishet men would fill these jobs.
Yeah. Do you not think women could carry boxes, John?
Oh no, I fully believe that women can, yes.
Okay.
But a man of the exact same weight, height, and everything will be able to carry more than a woman of the exact same height, weight, and everything with the same BMI.
And so you think that so the fact is there's women that exist that can do it. I don't think jobs hire based on your BMI and your
right. Women exist that can do it,
weight.
but there are less.
Right. So if you physically, but how do you know that? How do you know that there are less women?
You can look it up.
Where?
Women, national workforce, whatever.
The national workforce tells me what?
That men fill up these positions because
because why?
Because they require a higher level of athleticism that a woman would need a larger stature to acquire.
And that's why more women don't fulfill these jobs. You have a source for that? That's what that tells us?
There's several sources.
Give me one.
That's common knowledge. Okay, the same place you got that last stat. You can look it up on that same website. The website you was just on, go to that website.
And
women are not capable of doing these jobs. That's what.
Right.
No,
that
they
says
are.
It on that website.
But it requires more than a man.
What?
So
what are you talking?
What?
Okay, look, if you have a man with a BMI of 205 and you have a woman with a BMI of 205,
So you're getting hired by your BMI
to lift more.
Yeah, John, how heavy are these boxes? Tell me, how heavy on average
so
are these things?
I put the stack of 10 boxes, and each box is 15 pounds.
So you don't think a woman can carry 15 pounds, John?
So 150 pounds, 8 hours a day, all
God,
day.
I carried around a toddler that weighed more than that all the time.
John, did you
More
know?
than
Oh my
150
God, John.
pounds?
I don't. A BMI also doesn't measure our muscle capability. Like
Okay,
that's
well,
not what a
beyond that
BMI is.
point, how
So,
would you reproduce without
John,
men?
stop. The point is, like, no, we're not moving on that. Wait, so now you're jumping. You've conceded that's not why we need men. Is to
Yeah, I
is
can see. I can't.
like,
Y'all aren't making sense to me. So why can't you reproduce without men?
What?
I mean, yeah,
What?
yeah. How can you reproduce without men?
I'm gonna take that W. How can women reproduce without men? Okay, so for one, bisexual men exist, pansexual men exist, trans women exist. There's also more than enough
So are you
sperm in the
going to
sperm
like?
banks. I am almost finished talking. There's also more than enough sperm in the sperm banks already. We can continue on the population for generations.
For 55 years, the sperm banks will last.
Okay, then we'll have raised better men by then.
You just said that you're going to get rid of all the cis hetero men,
Did
right?
not say that
I
ever.
did not say that.
No
Absolutely
one
not.
said that, John.
Well,
No one
if
said that.
if you don't need us, if we wasn't there, right?
No, that doesn't mean
What?
we're getting rid of you. That's not.
No one
Yeah,
said that.
nobody's saying that. I'm asking,
Okay.
I'm looking for reasons. Do you think that, so you obviously come up here because you think that women need cis het men.
Yes.
So you've already proved, you've conceded that it's not for the workforce because women can also do that and other people besides cis het men can
No,
do that.
y'all just wasn't making any sense on that.
No, you
Women
conceded,
lift
so I'm going to take that as a
15-pound
W.
boxes.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like chat agrees with me.
Oh,
I
wow.
didn't. I'm talking to you, John. If you want to go back to chat, you can go back to chat. But so on to your next point. So reproduction. What about pansexual men and bisexual men? What about men like that? What about the sperm bank, like the sperm that we already have?
Okay. That makes up a very small percentage of men. So, I mean, that wouldn't be enough.
Do you think
How
every
many-
woman needs to reproduce?
Yeah, and it would be enough, John.
It would be.
Right. How many men, you don't think that we've had a small population in history at some point that grew into almost 8 billion people?
Yeah, but that's not the point of humanity. It's not to go backwards and make our population go down.
That's not the question, though. I'm not talking about the point of humanity. I'm like that's an entirely different topic, right? What I'm asking is like the necessity for it. Like you think like is that our necessity in life is to reproduce?
According to science.
Science tells us that our necessity is to reproduce.
Yeah, what's your other purpose for being here if not to reproduce and continue humanity?
So, John, I'm going to need a source on that. What science is saying that? Is our purpose?
Charles Darwin.
Charles Darwin.
What does Charles Darwin say about us reproducing?
That you are born with the notion to reproduce, that it fulfills you.
That's what Charles Darwin says. Where does he say that?
Yeah, give me that.
Fulfills you? Damn,
What?
Michaela, you're not going to be fulfilled.
John, what
Sorry.
book did Charles Darwin
Wait,
write?
are infertile people not fulfilled?
Usually not.
Damn.
Oh my God, John.
Okay, John. Okay.
It was
I
funny
mean, that's
until,
not the
it
only
was
way
funny
to
until
get
just
fulfilled.
right there.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Y'all are the one that asked a serious question.
John,
Unfortunately, over half of infertile people are
John,
depressed.
what book? Now you're just making up shit. What
I'm going to need a
book?
source on that, John.
These statistics are hilarious.
I want to know what book did Charles Darwin write, John?
50% is wild, John.
Just making up shit. Where'd you go, John?
I think he's looking up. He said maybe he's looking it up.
I hope so.
Or he's running, either or, I don't know.
All right. Well, thanks for the laugh, John. People's point in life is not just to reproduce. So
You won't be fulfilled.
hello, Paris, is it?
Yeah, hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound real muffled though. Do you have something covering your mic, friend?
Yeah, my phone case. 1 second, let me just take it off. Can you hear me now?
I think we could deal. How old are you?
I'm 22, nearly 23.
Awesome. What's up? What is your take? Why do women need cishet men?
We don't. Simple
Valid.
as we don't need them at all.
Okay.
Now I know.
Valid. I'm gonna cut you off there because TikTok doesn't like us telling them why we don't need them, so I'm gonna cut you off there, okay, friend? But thank you for coming up. I appreciate you.
Yeah, it would be nice if we could express our feelings on that, but we can't.
Yeah, if you were in the request to tell us why we don't need them, TikTok does not like that, so I'm not gonna allow that kind of conversation. But thank you for the support and hanging out with us. Thank you guys for tapping the live. I see everybody sharing it and tapping, and I really appreciate it. Hello, period. What can I call you?
Hi, I'm Mike.
Mike. What's up, Mike? How old are you?
I am 26.
Cool. What's up? Why do you think that women need cishet men?
I think I come from this from a little bit more of like a spiritual, like humanistic perspective. But I think that like, I don't think John's thing about Darwinism was so fucking off earlier. I was just like, whoa, dude, what are you saying? But like nature consistently has like the binary of male and female, like regardless of the like psychosocial things that we have kind of built around it. Like, there is some sense of balance in that. And like, we find the male and female in all forms of nature, like even I hesitate to say baser forms of nature, but like flowers, plants, bugs, such as that.
What we're talking about.
Yeah. So, Mike, do you
we all do live in. Sorry, go ahead.
Hi, I am the host. Thank you. Do you have a reason that why women need cishet men?
How are you defining need in this sense then?
In any kind of definition that you would like to.
Okay, so I think that self-actualization is on the hierarchy of needs, and I think that like living in a society that's so being able to express yourself, be like
What?
everything that you might imagine that a man has when he's at the full height of his privilege would be like self-actualization. You can basically do whatever you want. You can follow your desires. You can grow. You're not impeded by the society that's built up around you.
So you think we need cishet men to do that?
I don't think I think that they're the problem right now, but I think that the problem is not them. I don't think it's an intrinsic male problem, if that makes sense. It's not a problem with all males of all species. It's a problem with our male species.
Well, okay. I am only talking about our male. I'm talking about not even our male species. I'm talking about cishet men specifically. But statistically, cishet men cause a lot of issues with society. I mean, I firmly, stand with tearing down the patriarchy because I understand that it exists and how it exists. And the people to benefit from the patriarchy the most are cishet men.
Yes, but if we tear down the patriarchy and reduce their benefit and spread it out, isn't that really the goal?
That's not what tearing down the patriarchy is. Reduce their benefit is not in the inclusion of tearing down the patriarchy.
The benefits of the patriarchy are the benefits of society. They're just kept from most of us.
What are benefits of the patriarchy? What does that mean?
You have an increased proficiency for people tend to like you more in social situations. You get better business because of that. You have all of these other things
because of the patriarchy?
Yeah, girl. What?
Who is
That's why men dominate business spaces.
Right. And at the detriment to who?
Women.
Right. So how is that a good thing?
It's not a good thing. Men and women should dominate. The things that allow men to dominate business spaces is not just being a man. It's the fact that there's already men in the place. They have bias. There's all of these things. The same should exist for women and queer people and gay people.
But it doesn't. That's the point, is it doesn't exist for marginalized communities, and it doesn't exist for those people. It benefits cishet men the most, cishet YT men the most. So I'm trying to understand how that's a good thing for anybody.
Okay, but
Yeah,
isn't
like
the
we're
problem
not
the
saying to
patriarchy
take away the
itself?
rights of cishet men or anything like that. We're just saying that we shouldn't have a patriarchy and men shouldn't be able to control us.
So on the other side of the word need, what do you mean by that?
So we would experience extreme harm.
I think I'm misunderstanding you.
If we didn't
Could you
have it,
elaborate?
we would experience extreme harm. That's what a need is.
Okay. Yeah. Some needs like food and shelter, I think would qualify as that. But I don't think that's all things that fall under the category of need would like
That is
cause
literally what
extreme harm.
need means. You would
Okay, well, the
experience
psychological
extreme
concept of
harm
Maslow's hierarchy of needs
without.
defines a hierarchy of needs that are ordered by how important they are for you to survive.
Great. Are cishet men part of that for women?
No. No, there's no gender. Gender's a separate psychosocial concept completely. Like, it's not involved in that.
So did you
Because
see
the
the topic
Maslow
before you
hierarchy of
joined?
needs is a. Sorry?
I don't understand. Like, I'm not really understanding.
Right. So the topic is, why do women need cishet men? So you said that they don't.
Okay. I feel like you guys are asking questions that are off topic, and then I'm like trying to answer them, and then you're getting mad because I'm going off topic.
Well, yeah, I'm getting upset because you're going
Well,
on
we're
topic.
both going on tangents. You're just not allowing me to do it, really.
Nobody from our side has gone on a tangent. I don't know where you got that from. I am very confused in this conversation, though. Honestly, I don't know what to say to this even.
Well, he did come to the conclusion that women don't need cishet men. So,
All right, valid.
I think we're misunderstanding what need may mean, and that's okay. But it was good to talk to you all. I appreciate you having me.
He doesn't understand what need means. I told him.
You did tell him.
Crazy.
I think some people make this topic like way too complicated. Like, it's really not that.
And if you're,
I think he was advocating. Oh, I'm sorry, Reggie.
hi, Michaela.
Oh no, I think he was advocating for males, saying that males balance out females. That's basically what he was saying.
Okay, that makes a little more sense. Also, if you're offended by this, like, that's also, like, we can unpack why. Like, we can talk about what this means and what it doesn't mean and why you're offended by that. Jonathan, what's up?
I would like to say first thing, good afternoon. And you brought there's 2 points I want to make, or want to discuss. That.
Do you think that women need cishet men?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
For 2 reasons. Mainly for the jobs. That's one of my main points. Now,
Like, what do you mean? What kind of jobs? What we need them for? What kind of jobs?
who out of a percentage, I don't know the actual percentage, but it's just an everyday thing. Who is the one that goes into the plumbing jobs? Who is the one that goes into the electrician jobs? Who is the one that goes into the construction jobs?
Jonathan, I understand that a majority of the jobs are male dominated. I understand that,
Right.
that doesn't mean that other people besides cisgender heterosexual men can do those jobs. Do you agree?
Oh yeah, anybody can do it, but who is doing it?
So that's the point. Well, we could talk about that. Why are they dominated by men? Let's talk about that.
Because nobody else wants to do it.
Nobody else wants to do it. I mean,
now on your average woman,
what tells you that?
On your average woman, your everyday woman, will they be going into the plumbing jobs and playing in pool all day? Will they be going into the construction jobs carrying 300 pounds of shingles on top of a roof, into the construction jobs digging ditches all day?
If I am first of all, if I am capable of that physically, if the pay is right, if the benefits are right, like, I would want to, like, I'm sure people would be open into looking into those jobs, whatever kind of gender or sexuality they are.
And do you not think nurses, which women dominate, are coming in contact with bodily fluids? Do you not think they're going in contact with that?
I'm talking about the general labor, the manual labor.
But what I'm saying is, like, you're acting like women are just like don't want to get dirty, and that's why they're not doing these jobs. But they dominate fields where we come in contact with bodily fluids and
Now,
lift people.
women, correct me if I'm wrong, women are more of the nurturing side. And so therefore, nurses, practitioners, or anything of that field, they're more of into the caring field. So therefore they are wanting to help people in that way, in that
But
nurturing
you're saying
aspect.
you're acting like, but this is the thing, Jonathan. You're acting like we're not doing like harsh jobs. You come in contact with bodily fluids every day as a nurse, and you also lift people. And I don't know how to break it to you, John. The average person is not 100 pounds. The average person's not even 150 pounds.
Right.
And women are lifting them. So do you not understand that?
Okay, so how many women do you see out on the construction field?
Oh my God, Jonathan, did you hear what I just said? What did I just say? What did I just say?
How many women do you see out in the hard working jobs?
We know, we understand that there is a disparity between the numbers of how many people are doing those jobs. Like, we understand that, but there also has to come to an understanding as to why. Like, why would women, do you understand that women get paid a lot less in those jobs? Why would we want to go put ourselves in those positions as manual labor if we're statistically most likely to get paid less than men?
What is the
based on discrimination, John.
What is the wage
Jonathan,
gap?
why was that funny?
See,
What is
he's
the wage gap?
laughing.
Because there is no wage
And
gap.
Jonathan, do you not
There is no
understand?
wage
Jeez.
Like you're not original, right? There's a lot of men with your mindset. A lot of them in positions of power. So if you don't think women are capable of doing these jobs, do you not think they also believe that and are not hiring women because they don't believe they're capable of doing it?
Let me just say, I have 2 daughters, okay?
Oh my God, never mind.
So you're not going to
So
address anything
should
people
I-
are saying to you, Jonathan? Like, what are you doing?
So should I tell my daughters that you don't need a man?
No, Jonathan, can you, if your daughter's like, hey, I'm going to go into construction, Dad, like I really want to be a construction worker, would you support her?
If she wants to go into the construction, by all means, go into the construction. If she wants
Do
to
you
go
think
into the
she's
military.
capable of doing it, John?
Honestly, no, I don't.
Okay, there we go. That's all I needed to know.
They are not capable of doing it. They are not capable of doing the hard labor, lifting all these heavy equipment.
So Jonathan, so that means that all people who are not cisgender heterosexual men can't do those jobs either? Like what? Like that's a wild thing to think. An extreme exaggeration.
And it's also
Like,
incredibly harmful to women to tell them that they are incapable of doing things because they're women.
And the most capable construction worker I know is a woman. So I don't know what you're talking about, John. Like women are working in construction. What is wrong with you?
Not once did I say that women can't do it. And I did say that I don't think my daughter could do it. If she wanted to, by all means, go do it.
You just said they can't do it. You just said it, John. So
No, I
can
did
women
not.
do
Not
this
once did
job?
I say that women can't do it.
Yeah, but you just said that you don't think that your daughters can do it. Like, what if they can and you just have no idea? What if they train?
If I tell my
But
daughter
Jonathan,
that
I'm
she
not
cannot,
finished talking. I'm
Go ahead,
not finished
that's fine.
talking. So what if your daughter's trained for years to become, I don't know, an Olympic athlete that could do any of those like labor jobs? Like, you don't believe that she could do that? You don't have faith in your children that they could do stuff like that?
No, because she is fragile.
Fragile?
Oh my!
What do you mean fragile?
This is what I'm saying. This, like, men are like, oh, we're better towards women once we have daughters and we understand. But no, y'all are not, right? You're saying like, oh, you had daughters, so we can trust what you're saying more. But what you're saying is still harmful, right? Like, do you not believe your sons are fragile? If you had sons,
Oh, I do have sons.
Do you think they're fragile?
Well, every child is fragile, and I do believe my sons are fragile.
Do you think they could get into construction? If you're like, hey, I'm going to go into construction, Dad, would you think that they could do it?
If they're groomed properly.
Why can't you think the same thing about your daughter? And I don't know why you're using the word groom.
Yeah, let's not talk about
your daughter.
We don't talk about grooming our children, Jonathan. That is wildly inappropriate.
It's weird.
We can educate.
Okay, so what is your determination of grooming?
Oh.
A determination of grooming, when you're implying that you're grooming a child, has very negative.
What means?
Weird thing to say.
What means?
Really weird thing to say. You don't know what it
means. You don't understand what it means to.
What are you talking about when you say grooming a child?
There's only one thing that you mean when you're grooming a child, Jonathan. And if you don't know that, I don't want to talk to you. You don't know that? You don't see anything negative about saying that?
No, I don't.
Okay, please go research that, okay? Please go research that and then be disgusted when you figure out what you just said.
God. Made no sense. Wild.
Yikes. When you're referring to grooming a child, no. Hey, crocodile.
Hi, crocodile. Oh, God. That was...
His mind wasn't going to the same place is not an excuse. Like, you need to understand what you're saying. Like, if you are advocating for grooming a child, you need to understand what that sounds like. I don't care if he meant something else. What's up,
Hey,
Mac?
sorry. Hey, so yeah, that grooming shit was kind of weird, huh?
Yeah, how old are you?
Yeah, so, sorry, I'm a little nervous.
How old are you, friend?
I want to articulate my point well because...
Am I muted? What? Hello, can you hear me?
No. Yeah, can you hear me now?
How old are you?
32.
Awesome. What's up?
Okay, so I don't know, I just like the narrative that women can't do those jobs. I feel like anyone can do any job, like, because like
you
my
don't
wife.
like that narrative? Is that what you said? I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Because, because I don't think any jobs are like gender roles, like my wife can change it.
Yes. Do you think that women need cishet men, Mac?
Well, yes, and here's why. Because it goes by population and percentages, and it's just the way those jobs are dominated. It's not like anybody's keeping women.
Why are those? What? Wait. So why are? Let's talk about that. Why are those male dominated jobs?
Listen, I'll put it to you this way. No woman is keeping me out of OnlyFans. The only reason I don't do it is because I can't. Okay, and
what in the hell?
The only reason. Caitlin Clark would rather play in the NBA.
Wait, no,
but she can't.
Stop.
Yeah.
Reggie's trying to say something. Like, that was so harmful what you're saying.
I was talking though, and you just cut me
No.
off, so.
When you were thinking of jobs women do, you thought of OF. Like, that's so disrespectful.
Right.
No,
so
I'm just no.
We say,
it goes
Mac,
both ways, though.
Stop it. Stop. We're gonna have a conversation, and that's a back and forth. And when I'm asking you to stop, please. I'm trying to keep the conversation on track and not say things that are going to get the live banned. Use the term OF, okay? That is not specific to women. That has nothing to do with this topic. So let's talk about why those jobs are male dominated. There's a historical context as to why these jobs have more men in them. Can we talk about that, please?
Yeah, and I was trying to get into that, but you cut me off. So, are you ready to learn, or you ready? Because nobody's keeping.
Yes,
nobody's
Matt,
keeping.
Please.
Okay, so
ready to learn?
Let me know when I can finish.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
So, who do you think's keeping you out of those jobs? If you're like, no one would just keep you out of those jobs. It's
Why
too
would
much
I want to
money.
work? Why would I want to work
There,
in that industry when I'm more likely to be SA'd, when I'm more likely to get paid less and be discriminated against? Why would I want to work in those jobs?
so okay, so you're talking about like the gender pay gap,
I
and
mean, yeah, we can talk about that. That exists. I
yeah, I
also
mean,
said SA. I also said I'm more likely to get SA'd in those jobs.
I see. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about that. I specifically know more about like like economical and
Okay, so tell me about the wage gap.
well, I can tell you this: babysitters shouldn't get paid as much as construction workers, and I'm tired of pretending
That's not
otherwise.
the difference. That has nothing to do
I
with the
know.
wage gap.
Listen,
Yeah, and why not? Also,
you're, look,
Yeah.
why not?
Taking care of your children is pretty important. But why? That's not what the wage gap means. Do you understand what the wage gap means?
I understand exactly what it means. I just know that
Okay,
you
so
don't.
tell me, please.
No, you can tell me your whitewashed version of it, but at
My
the end of the
whitewashed version of
listen,
it. There.
at the
What
end of
can
the
you're gonna tell me what you think that it means, or we're gonna move on?
no, we can just move on because
So
it's like
you can see that the wage gap is a bad thing, and we're right, and there shouldn't be one. Cool.
listen, I don't really think that it exists. You're born with $1 million equipment attached. I don't know why you're complaining.
Oh my God.
$1 million equipment attached. That's he's saying what I think he's saying?
Yeah.
Are you a father? Do you have kids?
Take all the time you need.
Do you have kids?
Fuck.
Do you?
Yes, I have 3 kids.
That's unfortunate.
Why?
I just you just believe in all these parroted talking points, these false. You're in an echo chamber. Clearly, I've been in many
What does an echo
industries.
chamber mean? What does an echo chamber mean? I'm literally inviting people up who have different opinions
Yeah,
of
and you
mine. I
also
think
cut them
isn't that
off
the
when
opposite? Isn't
and
that
you
the
also
opposite of
cut
echo
them off
chamber?
when they're in the middle of talking. You remove them.
I
Yeah,
I cut them off
yeah.
when they're
Echo
rude.
chamber.
I cut them off when they're
Exactly.
bigoted. I cut them off when
You're
they say really
bigoted. Look at
fucking
this. Why do you need
misogynistic things.
why do you need cis hetero men?
What
Okay,
does
why do you
bigoted
need
mean?
black people? Why do
Mac?
you need women?
What?
Yeah, we're done here. That was wild.
That is the first time that we've done this topic that anyone has ever said that about being born with $1 million equipment.
That was fucking wild. Also, if he has to pay $1 million to get it, what's up, Big DVD?
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad.
How old are you, friend?
I am 45.
Cool. What's up? Why do women need cis het men?
I saw this discussion on a podcast a few days ago, and just wanted to bring up this point that I saw another guy making. It actually was a good point.
On this topic?
No. On this topic, yes.
Damn. So why do women need cis het men?
Well, it wasn't this specific, but it was why do women need men? Is basically what it was.
Okay.
And I'm assuming that when we're talking about, when you say cis het men, you're just talking about just like the more manly men, the men, the ones that are effeminate and that kind of thing.
Nope. I'm talking about males who identify as men and are attracted to women.
Yeah,
That's a man.
bisexual men can be extremely masculine, and straight men can be feminine. So I don't know what you're talking about.
So the reason that women are
Did
able
you hear what
to.
Michaela said? Please listen to my guests when they're also speaking. You heard what Michaela
I heard
said,
her,
right?
but what I'm saying is that men, the reason that women have the abilities and the freedoms that they have now are because men enforce laws. So if you listen to me.
Where are these men coming from all of a sudden? Jesus.
You can't take away things from people and then give partial things back to them and say you're the reason you had them in the first place. No, that's incorrect. We're not going to thank an oppressor for oppressing us and taking away the rights and privileges we already had. And then they took that away. Do you understand how that works?
Big DVD, you were muted because you were saying disgusting things by one of my mods. So you can unmute and answer Michaela.
I wasn't finished talking. I'll just wait.
Okay, well, you can answer Michaela. Michaela was saying something more important.
Only because it fits your narrative. I'm not
Did
answering
you
that
hear
question.
anything that I said?
And you're wrong.
How am I
What did
wrong?
she say?
How are women
Also, yeah, what
oppressed,
did I
and how have
say?
they ever been
How am I
oppressed?
wrong?
Explain it.
How are women
Articulate it.
oppressed?
I already explained it to you.
No, you're wrong.
Yes. What did I say? You're saying
You're
I'm
wrong.
wrong, but you can't tell me what I said.
Women have not been oppressed. Men have been oppressed as well.
Okay, so
it's either women have not been oppressed or men have been oppressed as well. Those two statements can't be true.
That's the point. That's the point. That's the point. You're
right?
saying that if one
'Cause you're
can be
saying
oppressed,
as
the other one
well.
cannot.
So that means you
well.
acknowledge that women have been oppressed, and then
That's
you're
not
saying
what
women
we're
are not being oppressed.
But they haven't been oppressed specifically because of men.
They haven't ever been oppressed because of men.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you right now.
Stop. Let's go to the point that you just said about men and women are oppressed. How are cis het men oppressed, DVD? Let's talk about that.
Men are more likely to commit suicide. Men go to war. Men have to sign up for the draft.
Okay, point by point. We're not gonna. Let's talk about that. So
You asked. I'm giving examples. Jesus Christ.
know. So let's talk about them. You gave an example of men commit they self unalive. That is a correct fact. But what is the complete statistic? Can we talk about that?
I can't remember the percentage, but it's abundantly higher than women.
The statistic is men are more likely to succeed, although women are more likely to attempt. The only reason why it's more successful for men is because of the violent choices that they choose and how they go.
And also, do you know what oppression
women
means?
just aren't committed to doing it.
God damn it.
Wow. See, that's also the thing. Literally in that statistic, I thank you for dropping him. But literally, yeah, it's horrible because literally in that statistic, they point how women attempt more because they're not taken seriously when they do attempt, and it's not harsh enough. Like you not believing that women are actually, it's like they never believe us. They don't believe we're being raped. They don't believe we're being essayed. They don't believe that we're actually trying to unalive ourselves. They don't believe any of these things. They always think we're constantly lying. And that's absolutely insane. That was a disgusting comment.
Yeah, anybody downplaying the SI in the chat, please mute them. That's so fucking harmful.
Seriously, that shit it gives me chills to hear from men with this mindset, even though I know they exist.
Gross. Hello, Scorpio.
Hey, how's it going?
Owen, how old are you?
30.
Cool. What's up, Scorpio?
Yeah,
Why do women need cis het men?
Why do women need...
You've got something kind of wild going on with your microphone. Scorpio. Okay. I can't hear you, Scorpio. If you're talking, we cannot hear you. It sounds like we hear moving, but... Hello? All right, well, I'm gonna move on, but thanks. If you get that figured out, we can re-request. Nagging him about his audio. I couldn't hear him at all. What? Hello, Wolf. Hello.
Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, can you hear me?
I can
All right,
hear you.
cool.
What's up? How old are you?
33.
Cool. What's up? Why do women need cis het men?
I would say not all women. Cishet women that want cishet relationships, that want children, they would need men.
Right. So I think it's valid to acknowledge that people with attraction that they cannot control want to be with people they are attracted to. So that's valid. But you use the word want, and I'm specifically trying to understand why women need cishet men.
Well, if they want children, if that's a desire for them, then they would need men.
Again, though, you use the term want.
Right.
Right. So I'm not asking about what people want. I'm talking about the necessities.
Yeah, outside of that, men don't need women and women don't need men outside of
I agree.
their wants. So yeah,
I agree.
To answer your question, we don't need the
Absolutely.
the other gender at all. But
I agree.
if we do, and obviously we don't need children, but
Right.
if
right.
we
So
want,
we agree.
yeah, we do agree. That was pretty much my only caveat. If you're saying like, if you take the one out, then no, nobody needs anybody for real. But if we put those parameters and then those factors in, we do. Only in those parameters.
Right, but we're not putting the parameter, like we're heavily differentiating the difference of want and need. And we agree when people want to have a relationship with a cishet man, yeah, I can agree with that. But I'm going to point something out that also, like you brought up cishet women, they're interested in men, and you can also fulfill that by having a relationship with a cis bi man or a cis pansexual man. Those are also people that fulfill the desires of cishet women.
Yeah, but they may not want a bisexual man or trans woman, I guess. They may not want that. They may want an actual cishet man. But again, if we take in the wants out of that, in this example, then no, nobody needs anybody. But that was just.
I'm going to leave that. Really, I'm going to leave that conversation. That's fine. That's cool. Thank you, Wolf. I appreciate it.
No problem.
That's all right. Is that what does your shirt say, Michaela?
It's Team Bear.
Oh, I love it.
I was coming up to comment on the shirt. That took me out.
Team Bear. Oh, that's so cool. I love it.
Oh my God, it's so good. Oh man. But as far as the prompt, I mean, like there was a time where women were forced to need men, but we're not in that time anymore.
Yep. Thanks, Kay. I appreciate it. I'm going to stop you right there because TikTok does not like it when we talk about why we don't need them. So we're just going to leave it at that. But I appreciate you coming up.
Okay.
Yeah, Michaela, where did you get your shirt if you'd like to share?
Sorry. I got it from Printify. I made it. And I can put a link in my bio if people want to buy it. It was like $25 including shipping.
I love your bear,
I love that.
The bear placement. It's very
It's a cute bear too. What's up, Happy?
I love it.
What's going on? All right, let's start with do me a favor. Define the word want and define the word need.
Well, you can do that. If you know the difference, you can do that. I'm specifically talking about
In this case, though, the problem is that these words actually do need definition when you're saying this question. So unless you can define these words
I'm only
purely,
talking about the necessity.
it's useless.
I'm not talking about a want, though. I'm talking specifically
Go ahead and
about
kick me off the live then, because we're done. If you're not going to do your part for this conversation, I'm not going to do mine.
Bye.
You're not going to. Okay.
Cry right now about it.
You're not doing your part,
running down my
Reggie.
face.
Okay.
But people want the shirt, so I'm gonna put it in my bio right now.
May I know how much dicks you suck?
No.
Can I?
No, you're a child. Yeah, so anyways, I don't know if this person agrees or not. Boss lady, you know there's like accounts going around using your picture and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
That was a child. I think this person may have requested a while ago. But yeah, everybody, we are out of requests. So we can tap that screen. I'm going to be on for a little bit longer if we get conversation. But yeah, I appreciate you guys all hanging out with me. I haven't been on here in a while. It's always fun to come back to a live after you've been away for a little bit. But what's going on? What's the TikTok tea here, guys? Any tea? Is there anything interesting going on?
Well, apparently Shanta's running a daily live about me.
Don't say that name. She'll appear.
Ugh, yeah.
Other
than that, I don't think so.
We should talk about that. Crocodile, I wish you were in Discord still. I miss you so much.
We do miss you.
Yeah, anytime you see those, anytime you see that creator, I absolutely recommend you just move on. Because somehow they have a million accounts and they never go away, and they're a very, very hateful person. So disengage. That's always my recommendation for that.
How about people stop, like, misgendering my kid? Like, the bare fucking minimum. Thanks, Paige.
They have so many and I can't even log into one. Well, make a new one, Crocodile. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Don't feel pressure. I love you. Define what a woman is. All the angry men gave up. We win! What am I doing for Mother's Day? I don't know. That's not up to me to decide. Isn't it supposed to be up to my children?
Unfortunately. Last year you went on your little getaway.
No, that wasn't for Mother's Day. It was for my birthday, which is on
that's right.
Monday.
They're like right next to each other.
Wait, you're right. It was for both. You're right.
Oh.
But yeah, I can't believe it's been a year.
I know, it's crazy.
Definitely choose my real man.
And Reggie pretends that she's almost 40, but she's not, so
I have to round up to 40 on Monday.
No, you do not.
When you're rounding numbers, it rounds up to 40.
Well, don't round it.
Because of the leap year this year, my birthday is past Mother's Day, or else it would have been on the same day, because that happens sometimes. Yeah, 36. Yes. Wait. Yeah, it's 36. Yeah. Mel passed 40 decades ago. Well, let's not.
Jesus.
Okay, you're right, Crocodile. So I should be rounding up already. Hello, Kasha. Hi, Carter. How are you, buddy?
Aw, hey.
I miss you guys. I hope you're doing okay. Hot women need men.
Actually, sorry.
You're good.
Because, sorry, we're getting an infusion.
It's okay.
I came to give you shit since you haven't had any requests. Because you came into my live the other day and you never even said hi.
Yes, I did. So my comments don't go through because I did say hi.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't, because I came in here and said hi to you, and it was just like, oh, who's...
So, Kasha, stop making up shit. So, I even said something about you having Joe on your live. I was even like, ew, Joe, and nobody responded.
I sent you a message on Discord, too.
I know. I didn't get to read it yet, but I do say things. My TikTok, my comments don't go through. I swear it.
No, it's been a thing for her for a long time. It's weird. There was like one live specifically. Remember you came into my live and you couldn't say anything. Like none of your comments worked. Not one of them.
Oh, really?
Okay, Mac wants to come in and tell us something.
Great, can't wait.
We're gonna listen.
Dear Lord. And guys, the shirt's in my bio now. If you want to buy the shirt, it's like
Nice.
$25.
Team Bear, what's up,
It's
Mac?
so deadly.
I'm
Yo.
so interested in what you have to say.
Oh, I was gonna say, can you unmute me?
Just kidding. Yeah, if you didn't hear that, Michaela has the link to her Team Bear shirt in her bio. So definitely, I like that. I like the simple Team Bear.
Yeah, I was.
Michaela, can you show Carter? Because we always call Carter Bear.
Aww.
Look at her shirt right here. Isn't that cool? Yeah, you like it? He loves it.
Awesome. I showed my friend it, and she was like, "This is a very nice looking bear," and I'm like, "that is the point."
I like how like it's so niche though that like people outside of TikTok won't get it and they won't understand, and then you have to explain.
Right. It's definitely a conversation starter for sure.
Mm-hmm. Some of us do, Brenda, and I do not.
We're in relationships. I don't understand. Like a lot of us are in relationships. I don't understand. And even if we weren't, who cares, right? Like, have you been claimed yet? That's all I hear when guys are saying that. Like, have you been picked?
It's always like our validity. They always try to make like the validity of us go down because whether we're single, based on whether we're single or not.
Right. Like yesterday, a guy, he was saying how, like if you're, oh my God, not Earl. But he was saying how like marital rape is not a thing. And I was like, it is. And he's like, are you married? Then I'm like, no. And he's like, okay, then you don't have a decision on that. I'm like, even if I'm not married, right? Like I can say that it's a thing. Like that's crazy.
I know this requirement that you have to be like part of something that you speak on
is ridiculous.
What's up, Ari?
Hello, ladies. Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Is it Ari?
How we doing?
I call you Ari. Is that wrong? What do you like to be called?
Airy Life.
Ari. Okay.
Airy Life. That's what it says.
I know who Ari is. That's all we got right now. Let's see if we can have a decent conversation. What's up, Ari? Why do women need cishet men?
Public enemy number one. So why do women need cis heterosexual men? Because they enforce their rights. They are the enforcement.
Because men enforce women's rights?
They defend your rights. The police, the military, every enforcement executives in this world.
I don't think that the police force should be enforcing our rights.
Who do you think enforces their rights?
He always has the worst lag too, like every time. Every time. I don't agree. I don't think that police should be enforcing our rights. And I certainly don't think that it should be cishet men that are making up that, which are predominantly in that force that you're talking, in those forces that you're talking about.
Yeah, and the police do not prevent crimes. They punish crime, right? And people still commit crimes even though there's a punishment because they don't think they're going to get caught. So you bring up the police on enforcing us and making us safe for our freedoms. It's just incorrect.
Right. Also, who do you think we need defense from?
I understand.
Who do we most likely need being defended from? And who are we trying to prevent from taking away our rights? The majority of those people are who?
I'm describing reality. You have rights in a society, and those rights are defended, yes?
Right. But who is taking them away? Like, we need to defend them because they're trying to be taken away from us. But so who are the majority of the people that are trying to take those rights away?
It doesn't matter.
It certainly doesn't matter. I think
That's the point.
That's why you don't want to answer.
It can be a dog, a cat, children, good men, bad men, anybody, women.
Ari, the point is none of
your rights are defended by men.
Ari, none of
whether
those,
you like it or not.
None of those are not the ones taking our rights. And I wish you would just say what the answer is, because I think you understand. Like cat, it's not dogs.
I'm saying
it's not cats, it's not children, it is food.
cis heterosexual men defend your rights. Without cis heterosexual men, you don't have any rights.
I
That's it.
understand that.
That's not
Simple.
true.
I heard your argument, but for one,
Who defends your rights then?
I mean, women, for one, like we have to take it into our own hands, and that's a different topic. But what I'm saying is, like, I don't understand
Is that how you do it?
Why do we have to defend our rights from who?
From people who are capable of force. Men are capable of force.
Right. They are the majority of the people that are trying to take our rights away. We are having to defend ourselves against cis het men. That's the point.
You live in a man's world. You're defended and abused by men.
We live under the patriarchy, yes.
Absolutely.
Defended and
Absolutely.
This isn't your world.
Yes, you are defended and oppressed by men. That's what means to be enforcement arm. Capability. You understand that? If you're capable, you do it. If you're not, you're not. That's the reality. Some people talk, some people do. Don't you understand enforcement? Execution?
But this is what, do you understand what rights are?
Yes.
Okay,
Privilege,
so
duties.
men are the no.
Privilege, absent duty.
rights.
Sorry.
That's
Men
not
take
what
away-
rights are.
And yes, they can take away your rights. They can give you rights. They can take it away at any time they want because they're capable.
What are rights? Harry,
That's the
we
point.
get your point. We fucking understand. Okay, we got your point. You've said it a million times. But answer Michaela's question. Like, what are
Wonderful.
The lag is really
Rights are privilege.
All right. This happens.
Privilege.
You're the
Privilege.
worst. That's not what rights are. You have the worst fucking lag, and I cannot stand it. And this conversation never goes anywhere. So have a great day, Ari. Privileges are not the same thing as rights. Absolutely not.
And the only reason they can give us rights is because they took them away in the first place. But we initially had our own rights. What is wrong with y'all? Makes no sense.
I think he literally like recognized that, which is what was even worse.
He didn't want to say it either. Like he ran right into the point and he didn't want to answer. Yeah, privileges are not the same thing as rights, Ari. Please.
Like if I take $100 from you and give it back to you, you're not going to thank me because I stole the $100 from you in the first place. I'm not the reason why you have that $100. I stole it.
Exactly. Is it chronic?
Yeah,
How old are you?
I'm in my 40s.
Cool. What's up? Why do why do women need cishet men?
I mean, would you rather have something else? Would you rather have someone who's not cis? Is that what you prefer?
I would rather be around anybody who's not a cishet man. That's my preference, yes. But the question is for the guest to come up and answer. Why do
if you're a dried up, bitter cunt, I hope you have a good, lonely life, what's left of it. And I hope you're happy that way.
Oh, did that make you feel better about yourself?
Wow. Like, so is that what that's your argument? Is if we're a dried up cunt that
He's just proving why we're keeping the bait. That's all he's doing. It's absolutely crazy.
I mean, it's not my fault that you keep women dry, chronic. Like I get it.
He doesn't even know how to leave.
I know. One of my mods muted you because of your terrible things that were coming out of your mouth. But if you want to be an adult, chronic, and do an adult conversation, you can come in. You can unmute yourself and have a conversation. But I mean, whether I'm a dried up cunt or not, if you think that hurts my feelings, it doesn't. So
no,
make a better point, please.
Well, it seems like your commenters appreciated it. So I said my piece, and I do hope y'all have a good day.
Do you?
No.
No.
I hope you have the day you deserve and the life you deserve as well.
Thanks,
You too,
Lance.
Chronic. Have
Go
a good
paint your
day.
nails and braid your hair, Lance.
Have a good day, Chronic.
Do you know how to get out of here? He doesn't. He doesn't know how to get out of here.
I'll help you.
He wouldn't know how to get in anything either.
Oh. I mean, he proved that by only knowing dry women. Probably because of you, Chronic. What's up, Andrew?
How you doing?
Good. How old are you?
I'm 39.
Cool. Why do women need cishet men?
Well, can I just clarify the bear man thing, right? It's supposed to kind of
No.
highlight. Huh?
No, we can talk about why do women need cishet men. Do you think
okay.
that women need cishet men?
Well, of course. I mean,
why?
But I think having a nuclear family is important. I think having a man and a woman raising children, I think that's a good thing for society.
Anybody outside of the nuclear family you think is a detriment?
No, but I think it's an important thing to have.
Why?
Because I think children do well when you have two parents, a man and a woman, raising children.
Do you have statistics on that? Do you just think that? Because statistics show that it's two parent household. It doesn't specify whether the parents are different genders or not. It's when capable adults help take care of children is when children thrive.
Well, I think there's definitely role models involved, and men and women both have positive things to add to.
Right. So, but what gives you the conclusion that it has to be a nuclear family consisting of a man and a woman?
Because I think both genders bring something to the table, and that's exclusive to genders.
Okay, so what? What do cishet men provide us that no other person of a different sexuality and gender can provide?
Well, I think there's different levels of love, right? And there's different ways that men and women express their love, and that's manifested onto children.
I think that people love differently than other people. I don't think it's specific to any one gender. I think there are certain stereotypes that society puts on the different genders and how they can appropriately love or not love. But I think that in general, people have a different way of showing their love. We speak in different love languages. But I'm trying to understand, what do cishet men, what is it specifically that we need from them? What kind of love that we need from them?
It's kind of hard to explain in words, I guess, to be honest. I think that having two females or two males, I think society shows that the children of those couples turn out differently. And
where do you see that?
And there's definitely statistics about mental health.
Where do you see that? Where do you see that? Andrew, you're off the app, so I can't hear you. But I'm trying to understand, where do you see that two different, or that the same gender households that children are turning out? What are you referring to? Andrew, you're off the app. I can't hear you. Well, okay, bye. Hello, is it Namu?
Yes, ma'am. How y'all doing?
I'm good. How old are you, Namu?
33.
Cool. What's up? Why do women need cishet men?
Yeah, I don't know. So with that, I think it's a bit more of a nuance to it. Because when you say need, I think of more so just survival. And I don't think that it's necessarily a cis het man, just a man in general, just and vice versa for men needing women. Because I do understand that, and not say you guys don't, but I do understand that just through history, right? Like, people need people, and it just so happens to be that people break down into women or men, if that makes sense.
Okay, I specifically though, I'm talking about if you're talking about to repopulate the earth, people need other people to work in society. People need other people, but I'm specifically talking about what do cisgendered heterosexual men bring to us that nobody else can? That's what I'm asking for.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, in that case, I don't think that a cis het man or woman needs the other. But if you're just talking about survival, then that's where I would say that's where we do need each other. But outside of that, I don't think that I mean, I think it's just pretty logical to understand that. I don't know. I've seen some people get guys
Well, yeah.
get pretty emotional.
Yeah, like I mean, there are people though that stand on the fact that like we need cishet men to do like certain jobs, or we need them to play certain roles in our lives. Like there are people that stand really pretty firmly on that, and I'm trying to understand.
That's blowing my mind, right? Because like I'm typically not on TikTok, because I've been seeing a lot of the lives, and I've been seeing a lot of the panels and stuff that they have with pretty confusing topics, I would say.
Sure. Yeah.
And I mean confusing in the sense of, well, obviously I'm not educated in a lot of these topics. Like I just found out that there's something called 4B movement, or West 4B movement.
Yeah, the 4B movement is a South Korea. The feminists of South Korea started that movement. The 4Bs stand for, it's in their language. I think it is no marriage, no sex with men, no relationships with men, no children with men.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. I think that shows control.
Yeah, they're sticking up for their rights. Absolutely.
Yeah,
they're sticking up for
if you fighting for
the
that,
inequality that are existing. Yep.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think anybody who disagrees with that is probably just emotional and selfish. But yeah, so there's another one with the bear, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, I haven't been educated enough to know what the reasoning or the stance is.
Yeah, we can talk about that if you want.
But I think so. Like for instance, I process things from my perspective, so I try to understand it from other people's points of views. But like for instance, more so in a comical way, right? Like from my understanding, women would rather be in the forest with a bear than a man, right?
Right. The question is if you were in the forest, who would you rather be left alone with, a man or a bear? That's the question. And there's a reason why women choose what they choose.
Right.
Yeah, I'm more scared of what a man is capable of than what a bear is capable of.
Right.
So that's why I would choose the bear.
So my question to you, okay. Well, I guess. So, okay, let me ask you this. And it's not that I don't know, but I genuinely want to know like your experience. Like, why are you more afraid of what a man would do versus what a bear would do?
Because I've seen what men can do, and I can see what bears have done, right? And a man is more likely to attack me than a bear. And also, a man can keep me alive. A bear is not going to keep me alive just to torture me.
Right. And then we can go into like the specifics and understanding of what being SA'd actually means when that happens to you and you try to live your life. Like there's certain ramifications, heavy ramifications and heavy hardships that puts on a person. So even if we're left with the bear, sure, they might hurt us. Yes, they might unalive us, but at least we don't have to live the rest of our lives, with SA trauma. That's the point. That's how much we'd rather get away from people that do that.
I have a phone call I have to drop.
Love you, Kasha.
Bye.
Thank her for her service. She's a nurse, right?
No, she was in, her son has to go for medical transfusions. She was in the hospital.
Okay. So I don't know. I just I'm a single father, so I have two girls and one boy. But yeah, from what I gather from you guys though, you don't, or you ladies, is that you don't hate men. It's just you're concerned with just the way how society has been conducted for the past however many decades or centuries.
Yeah, I just hate what men are capable of. I don't hate men themselves.
Right. I hate the patriarchy. I hate the fact that we live under the patriarchy and we still have to deal with what that means as women and other people. Everybody's affected by the patriarchy. And that's what I'm mad at. It's not that I specific to one gender that I dislike. I have cis het men in my life that I value very much.
Right.
But statistically, it's cishet men that are going to have a negative impact on our lives.
Yeah, I mean, I myself I've experienced being disenfranchised, I guess would be the word, by this government or the system itself. And I know as a man, I mean, most men won't admit it, but I will admit that I am weary of the way how men move. Then also, I'm also aware that I do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I think it's just baked in nuance, but I kind of am starting to understand why you have that question there. And it's kind of to just, I guess, break down the compartmentalized way of thinking that most cishet men engage in this type of situation, how they react to this and how they internalize. So,
absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and these topics, I mean, to get an audience, to get conversation, sometimes you have to use like catchy topics, and it's also to like unpack certain things. Like people jump to the conclusion that this somehow means, like us questioning this somehow means that we want to get rid of them. And that's something to try to unpack and understand too. Like, why do you think we're coming at you like that? Like, and why do you take such offense to this? Like,
it's like they're threatened. They read the headline and not the actual article or various articles, and also investigate who the author is to know whether their bias is, pro or con and things of that sort. So I get it.
They will refuse to listen to the lives. They refuse to believe what we say. Like I ran I think it was like a little while ago, I ran a bear versus man live. And the amount of men that would come in and say that we're lying about us choosing the bear.
Yeah, I mean, if they
don't even believe us.
Or just even bother to understand why. Like it's really like they cannot even comprehend that there is a very specific reason as to why women feel this way.
So it's like, okay. It's like more so you're saying this on a from like a metaphorical stance and not realistically, because like
or more of like a rhetorical question. Yeah, like it's just it's a thought experiment.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So that makes sense then. So it's not okay. So you're not saying it because like, all right, let's just be straight up, right? I'm pretty sure that most of us can say that we have a zoo somewhere near us and that there are bears in that zoo. And if we wanted to test the theory, we can just go ahead and jump in that enclosure. There's not necessarily anything stopping us from doing that. But who's really going to do that, right? To try to figure it out? I don't think anybody's going to.
Right. It's also a matter of like it's the context of where this is occurring.
Exactly.
Like it's when women when they are faced with being alone in a forest and a man comes up, that's a scary thing for a woman. Like people might not understand that not all women might feel this way, but if I'm alone in the woods, if I'm like camping by myself, which should be something I should be able to do, men do it, like people should be able to, as adults, be able to camp by themselves. And if I'm in a forest by myself and a strange man comes up, I am going to be fearful for myself and for my life. If a bear comes along, like I will obviously have taken certain precautions to prevent being harmed by a bear, but I'm also less likely to be hurt by the bear statistically.
Right. And also this is a would you rather, right? We don't want to be alone in the woods with a bear or a man. We would prefer neither, right?
Right. I mean, because there's a lot of
what
elements.
we're saying is if we were in this situation, which is worse, right? Which one do we fear the most, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not something that we need to like play out in real life. Like it's just a would you rather.
So people are trying to like basically bent on trying to convince you to rather pick the man than the bear, basically, is
our fears are irrational, that we shouldn't fear men as much as we fear bears, is what they're saying.
Nah, I don't think the fear is irrational. I do think that it's a definitely extreme comparison to choose the bear, but choosing the extreme like a bear also shows the extreme amount of, whether it's trauma or fear that some women have when it comes to men too. So I get it. It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. Well, shoot, I appreciate it for educating me on this. Give me
Yeah,
some insight.
thank you for talking to us and listening to us.
For sure, definitely. And I hope you can get some other people too, or I guess mostly men, because it's mostly men that I see on here disagreeing. But yeah, hopefully you can kind of break it down to them. I just noticed that I've truly started to understand that men and women do speak different languages. It's almost like sign language, right? Like people think sign language is a translation when sign language is really like a whole nother language. You know what I'm saying? So whenever I listen to a lot of the debates, it's like I can see where both sides are coming from. But I can see why there's a disconnect, and it's just in the way how women perceive things versus how majority of the men perceive things, if that makes sense.
I think that's valid in a lot of cases, especially when it comes to people who are actually feminist or egalitarianist. I think that some of it comes down to pure misogyny as well, though. Like there's a lot of people, men and women face internalized misogyny because women come up here and defend this too.
Yeah.
Like I think that plays heavy into it, and people like that's what we're trying to pull out and unpack. Like,
okay, so let me ask you this question. So okay, I give you a scenario. I was on Instagram, and I seen something in the comments. Well, okay, there was a video of, do you guys know who Alicia Keys is?
Of course.
So Alicia Keys and her husband, I think this was on the Shade Room. It just like popped up on my thing and I saw it. And then I just like to go in the comments to kind of just see where people's heads are, like just kind of look at it psychologically, right? And one lady basically said that she wanted that, and she wanted to experience that, and where was her husband and stuff, right? And then there was presumably a man that commented and said, let me make sure I'm saying this right. He said, you are a single mother and you're on the internet half naked. Do you want the truth now? And so naturally, a lot of the comments with, primarily women were basically, in response to that and, arguing with him and stuff like that. I don't think I saw him respond to him. But one lady came in and said that, how can you say that? I don't understand the need for men to be misogynist and insult women like that and things of that sort. Now, I myself am a man, right? And I'm capable of seeing that what he said and how he said it could easily be taken as being an ASSHOLE, right?
Well, I'm just hold on. I'm trying to understand exactly what happened again. So on a post of what about Alicia Keys?
So it was her and her husband walking, and it was like about just them being in love, still being
like
married.
A happy couple.
Yeah,
and then a single woman.
Married,
okay, so a single woman commented. Okay, I got it. And then a man commented back to her
and said,
"Why are you on the internet half naked?"
No, he just said he said you already have a child. That's what this was. You already have a child, and you're on the internet half naked. That's what he said.
So
and he said,
implying that she can't possibly find, like, she wouldn't be able to find a man or like a relationship like that because of that. Is that what it is?
Yeah, basically that's what he was implying. And so and it's not saying that she can't. It's not saying that she can't.
Right. What is your
Well, so we were talking about misogyny, and so the lady said that one of the comments responded and said that he was a misogynist and this, that, and the third.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
So, like I said, one thing I've learned is nuance, right? Like things aren't necessarily have to be black and white. Like a lot of things, there is nuance. And so I basically asked her the question, what about his comment was an insult? Because I do realize we have to be careful. Like, for instance, you have that question, why do women need cishet men? And you stated that people will come in here and read that and emotionally respond to that as if you're trying to say something else when you're just genuinely asking a question. Why do women need cishet men, right?
Okay.
And so she was saying that he insulted her. And I went to her page, I looked at it, I seen some half nude photos, and I seen that she had a child. And then I went back and responded to her and I said, You have a child, and there are half naked photos of you on the internet. Did I insult you? And she was like, oh, well, no, you didn't.
Well, there's a context around that though, right?
It's the implication that he's making. Go ahead,
right.
Nicole.
Well,
And what she said specifically is that it was misogynistic, and it is, right? The misogyny is basically like the police force of the patriarchy, right? Like saying if women aren't going into these certain gender roles, right, that they're not deserving of love, that they actually deserve like violence or scrutiny or whatever, like they're like the outskirts of women. So what he was saying to her essentially is that you're not deserving of love because you're not acting in the proper gender role, which is you need to be modest as a woman and you need to be with the man that procreated with you, right? And that's like a gender role that is enforced onto women. And so when she was pointing that out, it is insulting because she was just like, he made this comment about her life, right? And degrading her because she is doing normal actions. Like it doesn't matter if somebody's dressed half naked or whatever, right? That's completely fine. I don't think less of people when I go to the beach and they're in a bikini. Like that's ridiculous.
Right.
So like, okay. And I understand that 1,000%. And I guess this was just kind of to my point of what I was saying, where oftentimes men and women speak two entirely different languages. And the reason I was saying that was because when I read that, I didn't perceive that as him insulting her. I just perceived that as him telling her something based off an observation. Do
you see?
Do
you see now? I mean, do you see why it is insulting her now? At least.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I can see that now for sure.
It's because it's outside of your worldview, right? That's why, right? Because for an example, I went out to a restaurant with a friend and she was like, oh, I can't write with this pen. And I'm like, why can't you write with this pen? Because she was trying to sign her receipt. It's because she's left-handed and it's a right-handed pen. I didn't even know that was a thing, right? That you can't write with certain pens if you're left-handed, right? But because I've always lived with being right-handed and everything is just made for me, right? So you just don't recognize these things because you don't have to deal with misogyny on a day-to-day basis. So you don't understand like the underlying implication of what that man was saying to her.
So let me ask you this, because
well said, Michaela.
Yeah. That's a good
left-handed. They're left-handed.
I guess what perturbs me is more so, if I can recall correctly, misogyny is the hatred for women, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I was trying to see.
It's a simple way of putting it, but it's not a great working definition, right? It's used to push women into gender roles. A man can just say, oh, I don't hate women while being misogynistic. He's trying to push her into gender roles that are oppressive towards women, which is harmful to women, which is misogynistic.
Right. There's a power behind it. It's like it's a prejudice plus a power type of thing. They're using that as a way to control. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they definitely need to go ahead and update the definition of that word.
Look at feminist literature and they will say this. You don't have to, like, people just go into Google and type in misogyny and that's all the research they've done. But if you look into misogyny and how it affects women, you would understand the definition I'm telling you.
Just the uses, the uses and the practicality of it is what you're saying. As a whole, not just the hatred. So you can be and I'm asking a question. You can be a misogynist without having hatred for women or prejudice against women?
I mean, you can be a misogynist without hating women, but prejudice, yeah. Like you can't you can be prejudiced and like not hate women. Like it's because it's only focusing on the man's self-report. A guy can say very harmful stuff about women and then also say, but I love women.
I'm hungry.
I just want women to behave, which is misogynistic.
She making me hungry now. I'm sorry.
What are you eating?
A breakfast sandwich.
I'm a little bit of a jokester. But no, okay, so you said a guy can what now?
I can say, like, guy can say harmful things for women, right? And say that I love women, right? They'll be like, I love women, but women should be in the kitchen. I love women, but women's only value is her body. I love women, but I don't think they should be paid as much as men. They can say things and then say that they love them. But at the end of the day, what they are saying is harmful. So we should focus on the harm instead of how they feel.
Got you. That makes sense. And so what's like a solution that you, and I'm genuinely asking, because like I said, I'm not educated on this. I'm saying the question. So obviously there is a need or a demand for some sort of understanding when prompts like this, right, are around. So what would be like the solution that you three would have? And then also, are they all the same solution, or do they cross over? Are they vary or cross over?
Well, obviously we can only speak for ourselves, and I'll let them answer for themselves. But I think like this is a part of like having conversations. That's something that I can participate in. That's something that I have available at my fingertips with my phone. Doing conversations like this, I try to have those types of conversations in real life. Also a huge thing that I still want to believe is valid is voting, is our politicians, is our representation, and how our laws are made and affect certain people. Because as women, as LGBTQ, as a member of the LGBTQ, like I'm having my rights affected. So that's how I'm putting that out there, is communication, is education, and by using my right to vote. But of course they might have different answers.
Yeah, and this is the thing. We are volunteering to do this, right? But it's not obligated for us as the oppressed to tell our oppressors to stop oppressing us, right? Absolutely. It's just up to you as a human being to recognize the privilege you have in society and unpack that, right? Like me as an able-bodied person, it's not the responsibility of disabled people to tell me like how to be respectful towards them and how to advocate for them in society. It's not up to them, right? It's up to me as a human being, right? So if you want to learn on why women are oppressed and the history of that, Google is free, right? Go read about it. There are a bunch of feminist literature. There's a specific book that's really good. It's called Men That Hate Women. So if you read that book, it's a really good book. And she actually unpacks misogyny within our society and how it affects women and young girls. Men That Hate Women.
Yeah, who's that by? Did you say her name? I don't know if I caught it or not.
No, I didn't. I have to look. 1 second.
No, thanks for that recommendation. I was going to say something.
Yeah, and I agree with both of them, but I just wanted to also say for myself, as an older woman who has been affected by this, a lot of us.
21, ain't you?
21, I wish. 41. But I actually had to recognize that I've become desensitized to misogyny, where I didn't even recognize it a lot of the time, and where now I'm trying to become more aware of it and call it out when I experience it. That's something that I'm actively have to work on. Unfortunately, Sublime Mouth just turned 21.
So you saying like you can't pick up on cues, or it's difficult for you to pick up on cues where a man is basically.
Yeah, because I had grown up in those. I had grown up with being probably one of the women who would have defended this when I was younger, just because I was taught that women are less than men. Like, we shouldn't speak up. We need to be quiet. We need to be in the kitchen. All of these things were things that I was raised with. So literally became desensitized to it and believed it. And so that's something that I have personally had to work on and unpack, and that it's still difficult for me sometimes to even recognize misogyny.
Yeah, a lot of it starts with just being self-aware and doing our own education. Like I think that's what we can give. Like that's the best thing that we can possibly give on these streams is educate yourself. That's seriously the best advice that we could possibly give. Michaela is showing the book that she recommended if anybody
Okay.
wants to see.
Right. This is by Laura Bates. She's absolutely phenomenal. And it's Men Who Hate Women. So this is a good starting point if you want to look into feminism and what women are fighting against within society and how it harms us and how men perceive women. This is a great book to read, right? It talks about pickup artists. It talks about incels. It talks about how misogyny, affects women online and things like that, and how men, their first interaction when it comes to like intercourse with women is through porn and all those things that are harmful to women. So yeah, this is a really good book. If it like a great way to start.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the samples online already. I'll definitely give it a read. I think oftentimes we forget how carnal this world is. That a majority of the carnality is committed, by men. And I don't know. I see a lot of these debates, and I always try to think to myself, what's missing, And I realize that there's a strong lacking for consideration, a strong lacking for like a lacking of balance. You know what I'm saying? It's either something of one extreme to the next, right? Like I think YouTube, there's a sector for what's it called? It's like with the pills and stuff. On YouTube, where men, what's it called? Is it red pill?
Yeah, like if you're a red pill thinker.
Yeah. And then I see like the extreme of the West 4B, and not the extreme in terms of just the mission that they're going for, but just in terms of how the carnality of how the women are, even towards other women, right? Because then like I was in the West 4B panel, and then there was another lady that was it 3B or something like that. It was another one that she did. Because, one of them accepts, I don't know if I can say the word, but one of them accepts T women, and one of them doesn't accept. I cannot say that.
Trans women is perfectly acceptable to say, and we are intersectional. We are speaking about intersectional feminism here, so we absolutely we accept transgender people as a part of our feminism.
Yeah. I don't know. I just be trying to understand why, just the lack of understanding, and then why people process things and to the most extreme, and why there's no balance, if that makes sense. And that, honestly, situations are situations, right? Like it's like situation to situation.
Sure.
Even though it's a shared experience, there's still mitigating factors that differentiate our situations from one to the next. So
yeah, I can agree with that. Well, thank you, Namu. I appreciate you coming up here. That was a great conversation. You're welcome back anytime.
Okay. All right. You guys take care. All right.
Thanks, you too.
All right.
That was nice. I like those conversations.
Unfortunately rare, but nice. And of course in the comments there's this whole, aren't you saying you hate men right now?
Right. And then this
Listen
person,
to the conversation.
Why are you so bored of our very refreshing conversation, Legend?
There's no debate. It was 30 minutes of just same nonsense.
Oh, I didn't ever say this was a debate. I like to have conversations. Sometimes these conversations get heated because I match energies, but I don't always want to be like that. So,
okay, so
how old are you, first of all?
I'm 25.
Cool.
So your question implies that you don't need cis men, right?
No, it's literally a question that I can't answer myself, but I'm asking for other people's opinions. Like, do you think that we need women need cishet men?
Every time somebody brings up points of why, you're arguing against it, and context is everything. Just like you said with Alicia Keys when he asked.
Right. Wait, hold on. Before you move on, I'm going to address that. So yes, when people come up with a point of what they think is a point as to why we don't need them, that's the point, is a back and forth conversation.
I know, but if you're going to disagree every single time, it's going to imply that you do not think that they're needed. So I'm going to ask you, do you think, okay, I'll just ask you straight up. Do you think cis het men are needed?
I don't think that they're needed more or less than anybody else based on their gender and sexuality. No.
No, straight up. Do you think cis men are needed? Not more or less. Do you think
Literally, she answered your question.
Right. They're
No,
not
you're
needed.
saying-
They are
Good.
not needed more or less than anybody else based on their gender and their sexuality. That's my answer to this question.
So relative to other genders, no, but to everything, yes.
Okay, so Legend. So you think that let's go with your answer. That's what I'm looking for here. So you think that cis het men, women need cis het men, correct?
Of course.
Okay, so I'm asking you. So now is your turn to answer why, and that's what we're going to talk about.
Sure.
So
Who built the house that you're in right now?
Oh, Jesus
who built the electricity that you're using right now? The Wi-Fi that you're using right now?
maybe
the
it
roads
was
that you're using right now?
Okay, all right, I can answer you. Like maybe it was a woman, maybe it was somebody else, maybe it was a gay man, maybe it was a pansexual man, maybe it was a cis het man. You're right, but it doesn't mean that only cis het men can do all of those things, right?
Yeah, maybe, but what's the probability that it was a gay man, or what's the probability that it was a woman? What's the probability of that?
Well, the
low.
woman did invent the Wi-Fi. We wouldn't have a Wi-Fi if we didn't have that woman. So that would be incorrect.
Do you see
Yes,
the
sure.
inconsistencies though? Like, wait, so like what I'm looking for is like you agreed that other people besides cis het men can also do those things. So I'm looking for something very specific. Like that's proving the point. We don't need cis het men just for those things because other people can also provide those things and do those things. So
Why
I'm
aren't they
looking
then?
specifics. Why
I'm
aren't
telling
they?
you the specifics. Who built the roads? Who built everything?
Oh my God.
What are the statistics? How many cis het men have built the roads?
Probably over 97%.
You're just
probably
Yeah.
Percent of men
Yes.
built the road are the ones that are building the roads.
Yes.
Okay.
97% of men
The
make up
furniture
your
that you're
statistic.
sitting in. Who? Okay, I'm gonna ask you guys, all three of you guys. The furniture that you are currently sitting in, that you remember that got delivered, who delivered it for you? Was
Nice.
it a woman?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, a woman actually brought in this couch for me.
Okay.
And my
good.
bed.
Yeah, I do that quite regularly.
The woman literally designed my house.
Right. So I'm trying to understand the relevance of that though. Again, like not only like you're sure I can agree that certain jobs, especially like manual labor jobs, consist of more men. And there's a reason like we could talk about the reason why. Why do you think that the reason is?
Okay, thank you. At least you're not just laughing at me and you actually agree with it. It's overwhelmingly men that do these jobs.
Did you
I'm
hear what
asking
she
why.
said?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Do we agree, us three, or is it just Reggie?
Can you just answer the question? Like just talk.
Okay, what's
like
your
I'm
question?
having. So why? Why is it overwhelmingly men?
Because biologically, it's in our nature to do these things.
No, that's these are
You have
learned.
proof of that?
Yeah.
That's just how it is. It's us living.
Literally
it's
not how it
learned
is.
behaviors.
So what's your answer to that? Let's hear it.
It's learned behaviors. You didn't just naturally know how to do any of this. It's learned behaviors.
Right.
It's
And the
learned
answer to that question is because we live in a patriarchal society that has forced society to be that way. We have been forced out of the workplace. We get paid less. We're more likely to be sexually harassed in those jobs. Why would we want to put ourselves in those jobs?
So you think women want to do labor-intensive work?
If we're paid well enough, if we're taught how to do that, if we're supported, if it's going to give us good benefits, yeah, absolutely.
And women already do labor-intensive work, Legend.
Right.
I don't know why you
Right.
don't believe that. We already do that work.
If
Right,
you're capable of doing the same job, all right, at the same level for the same amount, or let's say less, it would be
why
stupid.
are we being paid less?
It
Why
would
are
be
we being paid
stupid.
less?
You're not getting paid less. It would be stupid
We
for a
are.
Being
business.
paid less, legend.
One second. It would be stupid for a business
Well,
not to
you
hire
said
women.
something, legend.
We haven't
You
heard
said
that
something that
before.
wasn't true though. Like the wage gap exists. Like, why do you say that that's not true?
Wage cap does not exist. You know why?
Where's your proof of that?
Because
Where's your proof of
because
that? I have proof of
there's
that says different.
Okay, show me the proof. There's plenty of proof that shows that
So if
doesn't
we
exist.
show you the proof that the wage gap is real, then you'll concede and believe it.
If it's actual fact, sure. But
Well, what
before,
is
How would we know what's actual fact? Like a credible source?
right? So is the Department of Labor, is that
there,
a credible source? Like
there's
that's
a
what
lot of
tells us.
different there's a lot of different factors and dynamics to what makes a source relevant.
So you won't believe it.
See, that's what I'm saying. You just want us to bring this up and you won't believe it either way.
No, not necessarily. I'm being genuine. If it's actually good and there's
Okay,
nothing that I can refute, then I will
so the
then I will
Department of
concede. No
Labor.
problem.
So the
What is it?
Department of Labor, is that a valid source for you? The U.S. Department of Labor, the Women's Department, it talks about the average pay of a woman working all through the nation. We are on average paid less than men. It's even worse if you're a woman of color, if you're a black woman.
I mean, is it the hourly? Is it the amount of hours that you put in? If it's the same amount of hours, then it's the same thing.
It's on average, the women working the same amount of hours, doing the same jobs, we are paid less.
I remember that's been refuted, and I'm going to be very honest with you. I don't remember the exact points.
Well, then they're not valid in this conversation. You can't just say, I remember it's been refuted and then not bring up any statistics.
Sorry.
You're 100% right. It's not valid. So I'm not going to go sit there and refute it. But I remember when somebody did bring it up, I was shocked. I was like, wow, that is messed up.
Yeah, because it's propaganda. And it reinforces your world belief that you already have. But that's not the actual data. The actual data says that there is a wage gap, that women are working as much as men and are not being paid.
Right.
Women are doing the majority of the unpaid labor as well.
Look, I'm not trying to convince anyone with this point. With other points, I will. Sure, but with this point, I remember it got refuted. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like
true, and you're not gonna just say, yeah.
That's
Fine,
just
we can
not
move.
true.
Look, we can move on
This
if
is the
it's not true. It's
Legend.
not true.
You said if we showed you the proof that you would believe us, and then we showed you the proof, and then you don't believe us.
This specific reason was refuted, and you don't have to believe me. What I remember it was refuted. And from my personal experience, I remember the points that were made were actually valid.
You just make shit up, dude.
I know.
I'm not
Can you
making
stop?
anything up.
Unless
This
you
is the
have,
only
okay,
point.
so stop it. So stop saying something that you don't have proof of.
I
You
just
can't
said
just
I'm
say,
willing to move on. I'm not
so
gonna stay
then
and
stop saying what you're trying to say about it, please.
That's not moving on. You're literally bringing it up.
Okay, fine, whatever.
So the wage gap, that's a reason why we don't want to be working in those jobs. The other thing is we're more high risk at being sexually harassed. Why would I want to sign up for a job that I'm likely to be paid less and be sexually harassed?
And the discrimination as well. Like women are applying for these sort of jobs and then not getting hired because of the bias that people are holding that think like you.
Okay, let me ask you
You're
something.
the only man that thinks that women aren't capable of doing these jobs.
Seriously.
If a business can make a way more money and pay someone way less and get the same amount of work, do you think businesses give a damn about who it is making these jobs? Businesses don't look at colors.
They don't think it's the same
black
work.
and white. They don't look at woman and man. They look at
what you're not understanding is they don't think it's the same work. They think women are less capable than men. They have a bias towards women. They believe it's men's natural order to be doing these jobs, and it's unnatural for women to do these jobs. So they're not hiring them or paying them as equal because they don't believe that they are as capable as the men.
Okay,
great. Wait. Also, because women's labor is devalued. So even when the average pay for like a certain job it's been shown to decrease when they start like a company can see that and say, oh, well, we could just, pay women less for that. And then what happens is the numbers decrease when women start to enter that field in larger numbers. Like they see that happening, so they're like, oh, well, we got to start paying our workers less because they're women, because they devalue women's labor. So that's a part of it.
Okay, so you think all these labor-intensive jobs, women will be just as good as men at doing it?
That's not what we said. No,
I'm asking a question.
I think that's what you think, and I think that there are plenty of men that think the same way. So it can't be two things true at once. This is not a two things are true at once, right? You are believing this because a lot of men believe it, and then they hold positions of power and then don't hire women for these jobs. But women are capable of doing the jobs, and also some of those women are in the field. What are you not understanding about that? And also, if you go to the United Nations Development Program, 90% of men/women are globally biased against women. We live in a patriarchal society where men are biased towards women and they hold these positions of power. So they're paying them less or not hiring them at all. What are you not understanding about that?
Okay, these labor-intensive jobs, you didn't even answer the question. These labor-intensive jobs.
Yes, they can do them, Legend.
No.
Yeah, I think that it's not dependent on our gender. It's dependent on different, the physical attributes that they have, sure, but I don't think, I think women are perfectly capable of being able to perform labor-intensive jobs if they're physically fit for it. Are all women? No, but neither are all men. It varies by person, not by gender.
Yeah, but what's the probability of a man being more physically capable than a woman?
Who cares?
What do you mean?
Right. If a woman is applying for the job,
right? Who cares? It matters in that specific situation. If a person is being hired for a job, if they're physically capable of doing the job, why does that matter if it's a man or a woman?
And this is the thing. Women have been in construction. Women have been in construction since the 1950s, right? The National Association of Women in Construction was founded in 1953. So they're in construction. Women are in it, and they're doing the job. Legend.
You guys are brainwashed.
How am I brainwashed? This is a real organization. They're in that. These are construction workers that are women.
This is literally the bias that we're talking about.
Yeah, wait, what
You guys have a victim mentality?
What do you mean a victim mentality? Oh my God.
You guys have a victim mentality?
Seriously,
You think you're trying to make it seem like men and women are the same exact thing. We're just not, and it's okay. There's things.
Nobody said that.
You're saying that women aren't capable, Legend, and that is what I'm refuting. You're pretending that women are not capable when women are in construction.
Yes,
do you not believe that this organization is real? Did you think I just made that up?
No, I don't think you made it up. Most women are not capable relative to a man in these jobs, in construction.
Most men aren't capable of doing these jobs.
You have statistics to that. That's a claim that you're making. Most women aren't capable.
Yeah, it's called life. How are you not? How do you not?
That's not a statistic. Do you understand?
How do you not say that most men are most capable? What do you mean it's not a statistic? It's life.
Did you go to college, Legend?
You don't need a statistic. Yes, I did. You don't need a statistic to say that the sky is blue.
When you wrote a paper, Legend, when you wrote a paper, how would you feel if, do you think you could put at the bottom after you wrote this whole paper, source life? What do you think? What are you going to get, Legend? You're going to get an F by that teacher
what's
if
funny?
you put your source is life.
My professor is not asking me to source why the sky is blue. It's very common sense.
Yeah, they would.
What?
Actually, yeah. No. There's a reason why, though, and they absolutely. If you were to make a claim like that in a science class, you would have to make an argument and cite your sources.
No, that's not how it works.
Legend, you're not saying the sky is blue. You're saying women aren't capable of doing these jobs. If you wrote in a paper, women are not capable of doing construction, then you would have to source that. And if your source was life, they would throw out the paper. They're just going to throw the whole thing out.
Okay, all right. So you think that women physically, in general, all right, are just as strong
Not
as
about
men.
us just
in
thinking.
general.
That is not
Why
what
are you? Nobody said that, Legend. Like, can
Yes,
you
you
stay in
did,
the
because you just
conversation?
said they're just as capable. These are labor-intensive jobs where it's a physical job. You have to be physical.
capable of doing the job, Legend.
Right,
Women don't have to be as
some
strong
women
as
are
men
capable.
on average to do these jobs,
On
Legend.
average,
What are you
yes,
not
you
understanding?
do. Yes, you do. It's physically intensive.
Then why are they doing these jobs, Legend? How are they
Why?
doing these jobs if they have to be just as strong as men?
Because there are some women that are in the higher percentage of women that are capable of doing it. But guess what? Even them, on average, they're not going to be on the same average as other men. They're not.
What do you think? So do you not think their work is as good as the men work?
Who? Women in general? No, not in labor intensive works. Of course
So
not.
so you think the work is going to be worse if
Of
a woman does
course.
it?
Yes.
Okay, see, that's your bias, Legend. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't think he even understands what
It's
bias
not.
means.
You would. Okay. Are you going to hire a woman to build your whole home? Or are you going to hire a guy that's been doing it for the past 30 years?
Yes, Legend.
Yes, then you're a dumbass. I'm sorry.
How am I a dumbass for saying that? That doesn't make any sense. If there
I'm
were two
sorry.
construction workers and one was a man and one is a woman to build my house, yes, I would pick the woman.
Okay, that's your bias.
Okay.
What does a bias mean, Legend? What does bias mean?
You keep asking what does bias means. I don't even know how to define it very well.
Then we don't need to fucking talk to you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
I can't. And then and this is the thing. They think they're special. They think that no other man thinks like them and doesn't make any sense at all. Men think like that, think that women, if they built the house, that the house will be worse if a woman builds it. And that's a bias. And that's why they're not hiring them for these jobs. Women are graduating at higher rates than men, are more educated in these jobs, and are not being as hired at the same rate. That is because of bias, not because of their capability.
Right. They see these women coming in applying for these jobs and automatically think they're incapable because they're women. Even though it's funny because he literally said like, ooh, these jobs, they're not looking at genders. They're not looking at that.
For real.
Something to say in chat.
Like
But
one of
I-
my sorry.
I didn't hear.
I was just laughing at him. He went to go Google something and put it in chat about bias. That's just funny.
I did not request. I don't know why that went up there. Sorry.
No worries, Leslie. All good. Thank you.
But no, I literally had a teacher at my college quit because of how the men were treating her and how they didn't listen to anything that she was saying. And so she went to a different school. Because they thought, like, literally as a student, they thought they were smarter than the professor just because she was a woman.
That's outrageous. Hey, Lucas, what's going on?
It literally happens on TikTok.
How are you?
I'm good. You have a lot of background noise. What's up? Why do women need cishet men?
I don't think that they do. I don't think that the cis and het part is really what gets down to the meat and potatoes of this conversation, you know?
It's really important.
I think it's
I mean, it's that actually very specifically talks, like it gives very specific details about who I'm talking about. So I think it very much does.
but like what to what end is this question for? I guess I'm asking. Like what is the reason to like who thinks that women need cis het men?
Were you watching the previous conversation?
Yeah.
I am, but you guys are really rooted in statistics. So like, where's the statistic that says like all of these guys think that cis het men are necessary, you know?
I require statistics when somebody makes a claim. Like when they make a claim to support what they're saying, to back up their argument, I ask statistics.
So would you say that cis het men are necessary as a claim?
But no, Lucas, you asked to what end? The end is for cis het men to stop thinking they're superior to everyone else. That's the end.
But I don't think I am a cis het man, and I very strongly understand that I'm not superior to anyone unless I've earned that status through like showing that. You know what I mean? Like no one.
How do you earn that status?
Why do you think that there's a status for being that?
No. I'm saying, well, okay, maybe status was immediately misunderstood when I said it. What I meant to say is,
you said the wrong thing.
Okay, maybe I said the wrong thing too. That's entirely possible as well. I agree. With that said, What I mean is, when you say all cis het men think that they're superior to everyone, that's
You didn't say that.
outrageous.
Nobody said that.
Michaela just
Nope,
just
that
said
is
that.
not what I just said.
Nope.
Okay, can you re-say what you just said, and we can all like quote it right now so that we're on the same understanding?
Absolutely. Listen up.
Yeah, I
I'm
said for
listening.
cishet men. For cishet men to not believe that's they're superior to everyone else.
Who believes that?
A lot
The
of
man that
cishet
was
men.
just up here 5 seconds ago.
Yeah.
No, that guy. Please
talked to
don't let
many
that
of
guy.
those men.
Please don't let that guy be a representative of cishet men. That
He's
guy's
not a
just stupid.
representative cishet men. There are some cishet men that believe they're superior to everyone else. So
Okay.
I want those specific men
But
to
there are just some delusional humans who think they're superior to everyone else. What does their, you know what I mean?
Lucas, so that's why we live under the patriarchy, is because just some people think that? Or is it the
No,
majority
I
of people
don't. I
think
don't even
that?
think. Honestly, let me tell you something.
Oh, let me guess.
Just getting up outside, right? Like going to the gym, going to work, going to do anything as a man right now. If you are listening to what's going around you and how you're supposed to, I'm not asking for sympathy. Don't put on your awe faces. That's very disrespectful to someone just trying to explain. I'm just trying to explain the truth.
Tell us how the cishet men are being oppressed. Go ahead, Lucas. Tell us.
No one's being oppressed. I'm just telling you, if you want to be, if you,
oppressed.
oh my God, you know what's oppressive? Being interrupted every 2 seconds trying to get something out.
That's not what oppression is.
But let me, it totally is, because you guys are saying that no one listens to you, no one pays you. And first of all, you also couldn't be more wrong. You couldn't be more wrong about.
Listen.
The entitlement.
Not, absolutely not. Like, you're not going to come up here and just make up things that we're saying, because nobody is fucking saying that, Lucas. Nobody. So stop it. We can have a conversation. I am trying to have a conversation, but you just clearly want to come up here and cry about something. So you can talk about the topic. Why do women need cishet men? You can answer the question. Go ahead, Lucas. You can unmute yourself and answer the question. If you think that women need cishet men, go ahead, tell us. I'll send the invite. So why do you think women need cishet men, Lucas?
I want to tell you that's the wrong question, and I think it's selfish to think about it's okay. Let me just finish.
Lucas.
Let me just finish one thought, please. Just let me finish one thought. It is. The thing is, it's selfish because no one's thinking about why they get together, right? It's to produce.
I don't care.
Yeah. What the fuck?
But I have to go to work, so thank y'all for having me on.
Lucas.
Bye, Michaela. Always a pleasure.
It's not me. It's not me. I'm not the problem.
Amin.
Hello.
Is it, how do you say your name?
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. How do you say your name?
Amin.
Amin. What's up? Amin, how old are you?
22.
Cool. What's up? Why do women need cishet men?
I came up here asking what the hell is a het? What's a cishet man?
It stands for cisgender heterosexual man. So it's specifically referring to males who identify as men who are attracted to women.
So a normal man?
No.
That is.
I don't know what your definition of normal, but what I'm specifically talking, like I said, is a male who is born, a male who identifies as a man who is attracted to women.
Yeah, so that's a man. That's a normal man.
I'm not gonna argue.
You know how God made how God made
Is that
us.
what they are? That's not even what the topic is. So now that you understand what a cishet man is, why do women need them?
Oh, let's see. There's many reasons.
Great.
Reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there's many reasons why men need women. You know.
We need one reason why women need cishet men specifically.
Okay. For you to have kids.
I could have kids with a bi man. I could go to a sperm bank.
Also, we don't need to have kids. Like, people live fulfilling lives without children, without reproducing.
I didn't say you had to have kids. It's so you can have kids.
Okay, so it's not a
need to have kids, and if we wanted to have kids, we could go to a bi man, a pan man. We could go to
there are different options.
All right, Mel, mom. But I just came up here to ask, because you guys were talking about the construction earlier, blah blah blah, with the other guy. I don't know his name.
Wait, so do you understand that we don't need cishet men for?
Yeah. Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Cool.
right. I'm going back to what I came up here for. So,
Oh yeah, sure. We
you
can't wait
guys
to hear it.
were talking to a guy about construction, right?
Anyways, any hoozles. You know what? My kid. Oh, okay. He connected. Tom, what's going on, Tom? Thank you for the roses. I appreciate you.
Oh, Tom.
Hi, how you doing?
We are doing great, Tom. How old are you?
36.
Cool. What's up? Why do women need cishet men?
I would say, on an individual basis, you don't. Societally, though, you probably do.
Why?
We're very disposable.
Oh God, no.
Because you're disposable? Is that what you said?
Yeah, if you look at all the most dangerous, occupations on the planet, they're mainly done by
cishet men are not disposable. That is bullshit.
Yeah, I think that's terrible. I don't agree with that at all. I don't think people should be treated as if they're disposable. I think that's a really
what I'm saying is when you want to risk something in a societal way, males are easier to risk than females are. Do you not think?
No, I don't agree with that at all. I don't think that we should be treating people. I don't think we should be saying that anybody is disposable. Absolutely not. I don't think people are disposable. And if a society is treating people as if they're disposable, I think we've failed as a society. Absolutely not.
Well, men are very much treated as disposable in our societies.
That's
you
a
look
problem.
at any war, even in construction, even in dangerous jobs.
But why do you think, like, they're not, do you think that people are choosing them to be disposable? Like, that's not the reason why.
No, I would say men have a societal feeling of responsibility to do these jobs, as in, like, if I don't do them, then they won't get done, and they need to get done. So
why do you think that, though? Why do you think that people that are not cisgender het men will pick up these jobs? Like, other people are capable of doing those jobs. We've established that. So
yeah, I'm not saying they're not more capable of doing these jobs. What I'm saying is, historically and statistically, they don't pick up these jobs.
Why? Why don't other people?
I don't know. It
don't know
seems
why
to be a
women,
systemic thing.
right? So, but you don't know why women. There are reasons why women don't go into these types of jobs that are
right, and it's not because cishet men are disposable. It's not a reason.
I'm not saying that they're disposable. What I'm saying is, the question is, why do women need cishet men to exist? And I'm saying, on an individual basis, you don't. You can procreate, you can do everything.
Yeah, we got that. Yes,
absolutely fine.
So back to what you were saying. Yes. So why? I don't know what you were saying. Go ahead.
When it comes to a larger society, the trends in history are that it is the males, whether they're cis or het.
Listen, Tom.
Yes.
Like we understand that historically men have existed in these positions more than women, but we need to come to the understanding of why. Do you think that the world has been very kind to women and have supported women that wanted to fulfill these jobs? It's not because they don't want. It's not because they don't want to.
It depends. If you go to some more, if you look at the research to more like Scandinavian countries and stuff like that, as there's supposedly more gender equality, people still fall into the roles that are, typically male and female. So given the choice of
Yeah, but those statistics aren't very old. Like that's just those laws that they've tried to implement for gender equality have been in place for just like a few decades. Like I think it's going to take more time, and I think it's going to take more of a population and more, a real change, more laws placed in society to help counteract the gender inequality. I think that it's going to require much more than that. So I don't think that that's enough proof that, well, we tried it and it doesn't really work, or enough proof to say that people don't want to get into these jobs. Like women don't want to do these jobs because statistically we're more likely, again, to be paid less in these types of jobs that are putting us at physical danger. We're also more likely to be harassed sexually in these types of jobs. So why are we why would we want to volunteer to put ourselves in these situations, in these occupations, if that stuff is still happening?
So I don't know. I can't speak for anywhere else. I can just speak from personal experience. I work in a very dangerous job, and I work with a lot of females, and it's become pretty 50-50, to be honest. There's as many males in the role as there is females.
So that's not addressing anything that I said. That's
literally nothing.
Your personal experience, it really means nothing to me because I look at the greater statistics. Again, women are still being paid less. Women are still being sexually harassed at high statistics. So why?
So this is what I was going to get to. So in my job, everyone's paid the same, regardless of things. The sexual harassment, I would agree.
Stop, Tom. Again, that doesn't. I'm not talking about your job. Like, that's great that it happens for the women in your life. We have statistics that tell us otherwise, that women on average are still paid less. So just because it's working for your society or for your little group, that's not how it works. Do you see that?
Kind of. I would have to go into more details into what statistics you're using.
Right. The Department of Labor. We're in the U.S., so I'm using U.S. statistics. This is a global thing.
Yeah.
But in the U.S., the Statistics of Labor, the Women's Department tells us that women still earn less than men. I think it's like 84 cents to the dollar.
Is it for exactly the same roles?
Yes. The only thing that's different in comparison is gender.
Okay, because in the UK, if I'm working exactly the same role as a female, it is illegal for them to earn less or more than me, depending on roles. So where the statistics come in the UK is when you get a company like Tesco, which is like Walmart, and they go, females are paid less than males. But when you break it down into a role,
I don't like the reducing people down to their anatomy, because we're not talking just about bodies. So we're talking about men and women here, because we're talking about. So let's call people men and women. We don't have to reduce them to their anatomy. Got it? Cool?
Right.
Great. So continue.
So men and women in the same role, you have to get paid the same in the UK. What tends to happen in the UK statistics, I couldn't name off the top of my head, but
because even though they're trying to make these equity exist to become equality, it doesn't mean that it's always working. Like we have laws that help that, like the Gender Pay Act, I think it was, and we still face these discriminations. Like we still face these imbalances. The Equal Pay Act of 1963, but our median earning is still a lot less.
Yeah, so we have a Genders Equality Act that in the UK, and that stipulates that for the same role you can't be paid anymore depending on.
Right. Again, we have that here, and it still happens. That's the point.
Yeah, but well, I can't police it myself, but you know what I'm trying to say is if you take a larger company. If you take a larger company, then the males normally choose roles that are paid more, but can be more tricky. So the example that was given in an article that I read in The Guardian, if you want sources, they had a company here called Tesco, and it said that 60% of men worked in the warehouses. The warehouse job was paid more. So when you take the overall company statistic, it looked like men are paid more than women. But in fact, when it came down to a role of somebody on the shop floor, they all got paid the same. And if you went into somebody who worked in the warehouse, they all got paid the same.
What is the point that you're trying to make? I'm
trying to say that when you're looking at statistics,
But
it's
it's
important
perfect
to
where
know
you are.
where these come from, where these pay gaps come from. Because if a lot of people, I'll use the warehouse example again. If the workforce in the warehouse is 80% male, then that job is paid more. It's still
The statistics Reggie gave you are literally the same job.
Yeah, like these are based on they're full-time employees, they're year round, and it's just an average of what we make, and it's just like an average that women are paid less. Clearly the minimal effort that we're putting into is not working. It's not getting better. Like, why are women on average still being paid less when standards of that job are the same? The only difference is on gender.
Well, you can go into what kind of roles we play in society. Like, for example, the job that I work offers a lot of overtime. I can take a lot
about your
of
job?
overtime
Oh my
because
God.
I don't. Yeah, but it's just let me
You're
finish.
not addressing like the facts that Reggie are giving you. You just keep going back to your anecdotal experience.
I'm trying. So what I'm basically saying is my job offers a lot of overtime. I can take a lot of overtime because I don't have any responsibilities. If somebody does have a lot of responsibilities, happens to be female, they can't earn as much as me because they have more responsibilities than I do.
What
So
are
that
those
would be one
responsibilities?
reason why somebody in the same role as me.
What are those responsibilities that women tend to have to address?
Well, the normal responsibilities, the obvious one is a family.
Right. So why is that put on that is a part of it. You're right. Like, women work less because society puts them on the what am I trying to say? Society upholds them as the caregivers. So why is it the woman's responsibility? Why is it the mother's responsibility? And why should they deserve less time and pay and work? Why should they not be afforded that overtime because they have to take care of the family?
Okay, well, they don't have to take care of the family. That's a choice between dads and mums.
You're not answering the question.
And I know
right,
society.
But society, right? That's a part of it. Is gender roles put that on us as if women have to be the caretakers, as if men shouldn't have equal responsibility.
Like about it's a choice that we're making.
Okay, without getting too personal, I know from experience that I try and get more responsibilities, but I'm not always allowed to get them, and that's the other side of inequality that we have in our society.
Wait, what? What does that mean? What do you mean?
I would love to have 50-50 access to my kids. I'd absolutely love to, and I have to go to court for the last 18 months just to try and see them for a minimal amount of time. Okay. And that right was given to her instantly.
Yeah, well,
without
we don't
any question.
Okay, and that means absolutely nothing in this conversation because
it does, because your point was that
it doesn't,
girls get responsibility more than men. And what I'm saying is,
oh my God, that's not even what we're talking about
when it comes to the children.
Right, and there's so much more there to that story that we have absolutely no idea. Like, you could be making this up. You could be, there could be so many other factors that play into this that is not part of this conversation. Like, that means nothing. And
right, I like the fact that I brought up
the reason why,
and you just instantly try to discredit me.
Oh my God.
Well, because it's not part of this conversation. Like, your personal experience is not part.
It is part of this conversation because you
just
said, why do women get paid less? Then I said, because of childcare responsibilities. And then you said, why does society give them their responsibilities? So my point was, a lot of men try and take back that responsibility and would love to spend an equal amount of time with their kids. And that isn't afforded to men. And that's the downside.
That's not part of the argument.
Right, and you're also making the claim. You're also making the claim that a lot of men want to take up those responsibilities, but it's historically been proven otherwise, right? Like, that's
I agree. There are a lot of shitty men out there.
Right. That's why the courts often tend to favor women because of that fact.
I would disagree.
Okay.
Just disagree, right? So you didn't even address like the other things we're talking about. That there is a pay gap, whether you want to admit it or not, right? And also,
Right,
there's other things that Reggie brought up, like being more likely to be SA'd at work.
Yeah, and I agree. I agree with that.
So that's another reason why women aren't taking those types of jobs. That's also part of it. Like there's all of these layered on top of each other does not make for a very welcoming environment for women.
Okay, but then you're saying so women aren't taking the more well-paid jobs because there's a male-dominated role, and they're afraid to get SA'd. So
That's
what?
a part of it. That's
Yeah.
a part of it. Yes.
Okay, and I would agree that in some of those instances it is a thing, but what does that have to do with the conversation that we're
Part of the
having?
reason why women are not in these jobs that you're talking
Right.
about. These
Yes,
male,
and then-
men-dominated jobs.
Yeah.
There's
And I'm
reasons
agreeing.
that women aren't taking these jobs.
Yeah, that's just the point. It's that there's certain layers as to why women, you know, people like to bring that. They think that bringing up that the point that there's more men in these jobs, and they try to make it seem like women just aren't taking these jobs. That's why they're not in these jobs. But there's reasons why. It's important to understand the reasons why women are not taking these jobs.
And I'd agree, but what I'm just trying to make the point of the equality is there for them to take the jobs. What happens, you know, that's all you can do as a society.
It's not just about being afraid to be SA'd. It's literally more likely.
But also that's your sum of this is like, well, it's there. It exists. So what are we going to do about it?
And
obviously not. But what I'm saying is if you're going right, well, women aren't going to take these jobs because they're afraid to get SA'd. Yeah.
Stop reducing it down to that. That's a part of it. Yes. Like there's multiple reasons why women are not taking these jobs. Like that's a part of it. And that's a really big fucking part of it.
It is. Being harassed by men in our workplaces is very common for women.
People like to bring up like, well, there's more men in the military. And it's like, yeah, do you know how heavily likely it is for women to be heavily mistreated and SA'd in the military? Mm-hmm. It's outrageous. And then people want to put it on us like, well, women don't want to go and fight our wars. It's like, no, it's because literally that is absolutely dangerous to us in so many different aspects.
No.
Okay.
Why would we sign up for that stuff? Like, mm-hmm. You can't say like women aren't signing up for these jobs. Women aren't, they don't want to do these hard jobs. It's like, no, of course not, because there's reasons why.
Right. We talked about, God, that was disgusting, Nick. And also it comes down to the biases that we were talking about before, right? That people like management in these businesses, especially if they're men, have a bias where they think that women are automatically incapable of doing these jobs compared to men are biologically. What?
I wouldn't say there's a biasedness towards they're incapable of doing the jobs.
That's not a word.
Well, that's the word you used, that there was a biasness.
Bias. A biasness?
Biasness.
Just bias.
A bias.
Okay. So there's a bias, but there is obviously when men think of things, they think what could be a problem, and it's not a right thing to do. But some men in positions of power, when they think, I'm going to employ this person, this
all right. So what do we
female,
do about it? So what do we do about it, Tom?
Well, the laws are in place in the country. It's about raising awareness, and then it's about enforcing these things, isn't it?
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
So that's what these conversations are for. That's exactly why we're having them.
And they're good conversations. I agree they should be happening. That's why I joined in.
Okay, cool. So you don't think that, yeah, I don't know. Where else do we go from this? What else you got, Tom?
I don't know where we go from this.
Okay, well, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
Thank you for having me. Have a good day.
Bye.
I think I'm going to wrap it up. Wait, let's see. We'll do one more. We'll
Thank
do one
you,
more.
Phoebe. I do. They're not just my children. It's wild, right? That like, Mel, you need your, and I never said that my husband doesn't provide.
What the fuck? Oh, am I on the live? What the fuck?
Oh, geez, I wasn't talking at all. Hello?
I didn't even mean to get on this, my bad.
Okay.
No worries.
I don't know what I'm saying now. Oh, just because I participate in this live to try to show people like the inequality when it comes to women and like how things have been set up to, you guys are fucking crazy. It doesn't mean that I don't want my husband in my life. It doesn't mean that I don't appreciate anything he's done. Like
the demands, like I see some people are like, how can you be on this live when your husband pays for everything? It's like that he has to pay for everything because they're married and because that was their agreement. Like what? It doesn't mean that she hopefully, and I believe this because Mel's my friend, that they've taken care of everything in case her husband isn't there to provide anymore. That's a thing. That's what people do.
Yeah.
I would hope that she doesn't need a husband to survive because Mel's a capable adult that can take care of herself.
Yeah.
So, what was that? All right, I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm going to go chill. Ooh, it's lunchtime. Yay. That's my favorite time. Is Mel going live?
No, I gotta, those kids that you guys don't think I have, are gonna be out of school soon, so it's kind of pointless at this time. But thanks for letting me hang out, Reggie.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out. It's good to see everybody. I'm gonna try to go to live more often. I have children, so can't always.
Yeah, I'm sure if my kids were like really young, that you guys wouldn't see me very much.
Yeah,
that time of my life when I had toddlers were very, very busy, so I get that. There's bugs all over the house.
That's why I'm never in my house when I'm doing lives, is because my toddler is very loud, and this wouldn't be a very nice conversation if we were to try to do that. So, yeah. But thanks everybody for hanging out. It's good to see everybody. Everybody touch grass, please. Take a break, drink water, and remember, only you can prevent forest fires.